Welcome back to the Lifespring Age, episode 25. Empathy is the enemy. As the group wait for Lafi to emerge from the pool, they are sent to locate a powerful item to help her return to them. Emotions are unleashed, and we learn more about the party than they would perhaps be comfortable with. So that was how we left it last time. Is you guys had left Haven Oral and started on the road, the well-trodden road into Algadane. You were heading towards Cadenshire, which is where Wolf grew up. But on the way, you're going to pop into a place called Greencrest. But before you managed to get to either of those places, literally pretty much as soon as you walked out the gate of Haven Oral and started on what I'm affectionately calling in my brain the Yellow Brick Road, you saw a dragon fly overhead, a crystal dragon. You followed it into some woods along the side of the road. I can't remember exactly what time I said it was, but I'm going to say it's around lunchtime for the sake of
I think it was just after lunchtime. I think
midday-ish. Yeah, midday-ish works. Sorry, I've got a lingering cough today. So you'd gone there. You'd had a brief chat with the dragon that was guarding these two springs. It said it was there guarding them for a group of legendary demigods you've heard mentioned a few times, the Little Sisters, often in relation to Kudo's sword or like Lafi looks like and whatever. Kudo, you put your sword into one of the springs and it replaced the batteries and it's
Duracell extra life.
Yeah, it's you've taken the demo sticker off and now it's full
turned off the child controls.
It's beefy. It's real beefy now.
Did I just strap some beef jerky to it?
It's
Beefy
suddenly
fuck.
yeah. I'm gonna regret this soon. And then Lafi decided that she was gonna go for a little paddle. So the last you see of Lafi is as she puts her hand in, like touches the bottom. Doesn't seem to get affected by the scalding water that hurt Yukido. So she pops her legs in and like wades into the water a little bit. Now, you had seen these ponds, and they are very much ponds. They are not super deep. They are not lakes by any means. They're fed by some kind of underwater spring that's making them bubble, but they didn't appear super deep. But there's this blinding flash of light and the sound of a splash. And when you kind of open your eyes again after this like flashbang, Lafi is nowhere to be seen, fully submerged, presumably in this lake that is rippling. But it's like someone. Have you seen when someone put bleach in water, then puts a bulb underneath it? It looks like Nuka-Cola from Fallout.
Yeah,
it's like
weird.
Glowing. It's that
Cool.
kind of effect of the pond.
What are you talking about? Bleach?
If you put a little bit of bleach in water, it changes how light passes through it, rather than like a small. What's the word? A small break in it. It changes it and diffuses it throughout the water, so it glows.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's really cool.
looks very cool.
The thing why I was confused, I just heard Bleach and I thought of the anime. And I was confused. Oh, what is
Yes,
he
if you
talking
put bleach anime in water. Yeah. So this is the last moment you see of Lafi. She kind of like heads into the water, facing away from you, and there's this flash of light, a sound of like not like a splash as in like someone cannonballing in, but like the sound of someone naturally entering the water. When you open your eyes again after the blast, she's nowhere to be seen. The pool is aglow and bubbling. The dragon that was watching over the pool jumps down again. And it starts padding around the pool, like observing it very, very closely. What do you guys want to do? So just for context, Azalea is still there. Rusty and Riptide are still there. They're just kind of like rubbing their eyes, gorming out a little bit.
Wolf, did she have her Logitech controller?
Funny joke, but Wolf is like, she immediately like looks around, looks at the dragons, like immediately, like she was relatively calm. She's immediately stressing, just like looking around, like panicking, essentially. Just like, obviously she knows that this fucking radiant water, or whatever it is, gonna fucking burn her. But she gets as close as she can, just like looks up at the dragon, really like scared. but like doesn't know what to say.
The dragon looks down at you. I would not touch the water. I'm assuming she's wearing a mask, right?
Yeah.
Wolf.
Yeah.
I wouldn't recommend it either. Really, just
What?
The water will scald you.
No, I'm not. What happened to her?
She has gone into the waters.
Well, more than that.
More than that, she has returned to rejuvenate herself in the glow of the waters.
Is she gonna be alright?
If she is one of the sisters, she will be fine. And the dragon kind of turns from you a little bit, so you're not kind of in its way, and breathes over the pond that Kudo put, because there's two of them, breathes over the pond that he put the sword into, and exhales its draconic breath into the pond, and it starts bubbling and frothing, and like he basically put the carbon dioxide back in the water to rejuvenate the springs. The dragon seems to like fade temporarily, like it's taking quite a lot of its energy and effort to do this.
Mm-hmm.
But then it kind of shakes up and turns around and looks at you with this smile and goes, "You are blessed, you are all blessed to join her on her journey through these lands."
What is that?
What exactly?
Her journey through the lands. It is said the sisters gather those who are those of the propensity to have the most power.
Which is like muttering to herself, nervous still, but like trying to calm herself down. Probably does take the mask off just to like breathe properly. Just like sitting at the edge of the water, just listening.
Do you need a brown paper bag?
Possibly.
I give you my water flask.
Thank you.
This isn't a brown paper bag at all. This is a leather bag of water. The task of guarding these springs has been mine for generations. It has been my privilege, my honor. It has kept me here. And now, the sisters perhaps have returned. I may well be able to move on from here. Once she has used the pools.
How long have you been here?
Many hundreds of years. Many of your lifetimes. And you see in front of you is this, looks a relatively young dragon. Looks, it's very hard to age them, but like he is probably much older than he looks, but he is kind of looking at you and like spreading his eyes from you to the pond. The pond's, I keep saying pond, it's not a pond, it's a pool. He glances over to the pool where Lafi is, and it's glowing, and the glow seems to build and build and build, and then burst out. I need you all to make wisdom saving throws.
1 second. A wisdom save.
A wisdom save.
Okay.
I'm still hiding in a tree away from the
You still need to
light.
make it. He knows where you are, by the way. He's at some point looked at you.
Oh, this is more for my own benefit than for the dragons. Oh my god, I'm going to use advantage. No!
Okay. So there's this blast of light, this wave of energy. Rusty and Azalea just freeze, like they're under the spell, or under the effect of the spell.
How convenient.
Yeah, it really is. Lou, what happens to you, Lou? This is very unusual. So you failed your wisdom saving throw, and you've been hit by this wave of something. You don't know what it is. You have this overwhelming feeling in your chest of anxiety and excitement, like anticipation for something. It's like it's almost uncontrollable. It just takes complete charge of your body, like your heart's beating faster, like it's you're a kid and it's Christmas Day, you can't wait to open your presents, that kind of thing. Wolf, you get this very strong feeling but not overwhelming feeling of curiosity, like what the hell is going on, what's around the corner, what's this dragon's name, why is the sky blue?
Weirdly, that was the
these
question
creatures?
I had. Why is the sky? No, what's the dragon's name?
So yeah, this feeling of like, almost overwhelming curiosity, and Kudo.
So it's not
this-
overwhelming because I.
No,
I
it's
assume
not.
that's
It's almost. It's like it's in control, but it's there. It's like a nagging feeling at the back of your mind. It hasn't overtaken you like it has for Lou. Like she's just consumed by this anticipation, anxiety, and excitement. And Kudo, you have this real confusion going on. Like you've. Well, I don't know how confused you are in real life, but
yes.
you're not quite sure what's going on. Like you can kind of follow the conversation, but all of a sudden, like it's not like a curiosity. It's like the pieces aren't fitting together. You have this moment where you can't quite grasp the situation. The dragon winces and scowls. Revealing these draconic diamond teeth, and like his claws dig into the earth, and it winces as it kind of staggers back from the pond. It says, "Something is wrong."
Yeah, we thought that when our friend disappeared.
That was
Yes.
expected.
What? Wolf just like stands at this point. What can we do? Can we help?
She needs something of hers, something to bring her back. There's something
Like a
missing
focus?
from it. A focus.
Can I make a performance roll to play me throwing Wolf in the water as?
What?
But
I'm sorry, what did you just say?
So
The
like
dragon-
pretend to
the-
throw Wolf into the water.
Oh,
Yes,
Yes.
just go up and make a pretend yeet, because the
Yes,
dragon
of course,
said we have to give her something of Lafi's.
Let's see this performance roll.
Oh
A
my
12.
god,
It's pretty good.
it was so close to the net 20.
what are you doing?
Well, the dragon said something of Lafi's.
I.
She needs something, so I thought you.
What?
No, you misunderstand. This. He kind of sniffs you. Like he comes close to you. He comes close to you, Wolf, and sniffs you and like nuzzles into you, not quite as affectionately as he did with Lafi. He says, "There is something there, part of her in your heart. I can sense it, and again, with the small one there. But you are your own creatures. It isn't something of hers from before. She will need it bringing here to bring her back. Something for her to latch onto. Something of the sisters. Ah,
What about the sword?
no, the sword was never hers. The sword was Miranda's.
How, do we know something that's hers?
This is one of the things I was set to guard.
It's like looking like through her bag, see if she has anything of laughing.
Something from
Wait, you're
before.
looking through your bag of holding? Uh-oh.
I mean, she's looking through.
If
With
you
bag
are
holding, you have to like name something, don't you?
I don't know actually. I'm not sure. Can't quite.
Well,
I know
I
it's
think-
like you can, as an action, pull out the named thing. But if you are like scrambling,
I mean,
through
I
it-
guess I think she'd just be searching through like her bag that she has and the bag of holding, just looking through. Because I know, out of character, I have a few things that Lafi had, like the ring that Wolf is wearing and the letter that comes to mind quickly. But she's just like looking to see if anything while the dragon's talking, still listening, but frantically searching.
The dragon kind of like puts its paw, claw, I don't know, its hand on you, like reassuringly, not like, and it shakes its head. So, no, you misunderstand. Something from before, something infused with the power of the sisters, something akin to the sword, but separate. There was something else I was set to guard.
Well, is it
We
here
have-
then?
It is close by.
Can we go and get it?
Can you tell us where?
He gestures towards the rocks. He goes, I need to remain here to ensure that she is safe if she does return. But beyond those rocks, there is an item, an old staff of the sisters. Perhaps that will help.
Right. How far is it?
Not far, but the effects will grow more powerful the closer you approach. This is why I
what are the effects?
You surely have felt the change in your emotions.
Slightly.
Yes, those effects will become almost insurmountable the closer you get to the staff.
But what does it look like? Where specifically?
Beyond the rocks, in the trees, in the glade, you will recognize it. It's the staff of the moon, buried into its hilt. But as I say, beware. You are now sharing the thoughts and feelings of the one referred to as Lafette. Her emotions have spread into you, yet she knows not.
Okay, all right. We'll be back. What should I call you?
I'm Procyon.
How do I spell that?
Procyon. Procyon.
Cool. All right. We won't be long.
It's like tries to position itself between Rusty and Azalea and Riptide to stop them.
Is Riptide also?
Well, she's shaking it off. She's desperately trying to shake. In fact, let me make a save for her, because if she doesn't, then she will be gumming out. 16. Yeah, she shakes it off. Yeah.
Wolf is just like, she sees Riptide get out of whatever thing she was in, just starts walking, and while she walks, she pulls out the just one of the crossbows and activates the right on it now, just in case.
Yep.
Okay.
Oof.
It's fine.
Beefy.
It's fine.
5 damage. Okay, so as you are leaving, this other wave, this like kind of explosion of light that emanates from the pool and washes over you all, but you're kind of all walking away from it towards these rocks, and there is like a I'm not going to say like an echo, but like an answering call of light from something behind the rocks, like in like the middle distance. They hit you, all three of you, and there is this moment of just like overwhelming grief that all three of you and Riptide feel. Now, this is where it's going to get a little bit artsy-fartsy, because as you have this moment of grief, the three of you also see and feel each other's grief and what's causing it. So there's this flash, this like heart-wrenching fear and grief that's suddenly hit you. What is it that you are grieving in this moment where your emotions are completely out of your control? I will start as you are sharing Riptide's grief. As for the moment, you see in your head this perfect picture, this like encapsulated moment of this sea elf family living in this absolutely beautiful coral reef. It's like all the best shots from a nature documentary. You've got Nemo and his dad. You know, you've got all the sea that it's warm, it's light, it's not super deep. The water's crystal clear, and there's this family of sea elves, and there is the impossibly beautiful mother of this elven family. She is elegant. She's got this long dark hair that flows out behind her, and she's like a mature elven woman. It's like timelessly beautiful. There is a equally very handsome and very beautiful elven man, and they're swimming together, holding hands, husband and wife. And in the moment you see them, you know they are mother and father, and they are just like generically elvenly beautiful. They're stunning. And behind them is a younger woman, a younger elf girl, who again has this impossibly long and dark hair that flows out behind her, kind of like an inky wave that's been released from a squid. But it's perfect. It flows off her, and it just accentuates her beauty. It doesn't hide anything. She is elegant. She is lithe, and she's coming up to her parents, and they're so happy to see her. And then there is the girl you know as Riptide, younger, and she's still the Riptide you know. She's very big, she's strong, but she sees this image of this perfect elven family, and she is seen as like this abnormally elvenly ugly, like she perceives herself as like this monster comparative to her impossibly beautiful family, who are elegant and graceful, and she isn't any of those things. She's big, she's strong, she's powerful, but she can't compete with it. Like, she can't understand how her family's so attractive and she's not, and she's like left behind from them. The other elves kind of treat her with this almost suspicion, perhaps as this maybe she isn't truly full elf. There's something else going on. She's got these weird birthmarks of like a dragon on her neck, and that's meant to be a great thing, sign of a great leader. But there's this woman, this girl. She's full of anger. She's full of strength. She doesn't look like an elf. She you have seen her. She's like attractive in her own way, but she's not a traditionally elvishly beautiful woman. And the grief that Riptide feels of the constantly being reminded that she perceives herself as less than her family in some way, just because she doesn't fit in with the physicality of it, is the reason that she feels she can never return back. She has to better herself in some way, and as that moment kind of stretches on, you see her trying to do these things that are traditionally associated with femininity, the art, the cooking, and she fails most of the time at all of them, and that just makes her angrier and angrier. But yeah, what about you guys?
So I'm still writing.
About how to describe the scene I want to say, but I'm blank.
Well, you don't have to describe it as that. I mean, you can just give us the thoughts and feelings. But like, a Riptide knows that you see this is an image that's like been like almost sucked out of her, and you, as like out the corner of your eye, you can see her fists like balling up. This was something she never wanted people to know. Like, it's deeply ashaming for her to know that there's something out there that she's trying to be great at, and I won't say failing miserably, but she perceives herself as failing miserably at it.
Yeah. Holds herself to a very high standard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and possibly high.
Yeah. I can go if no one else wants to. So I think for Wolf, it is she probably, as she's walking, like almost stumbles or doubles over, and everyone else in the area feels this sense of, it's almost similar to Riptides in a way, loneliness, feelings of pain, being isolated. You probably see images of a young girl who you can assume is Wolf, lying in a bedroom on her own, shaking, her body sweating with like a fever or something. You see people around, a mother figure and a father figure, trying to reassure, but just not being able to. Probably a scene of her looking out a window to a beautiful farm with animals and people around, but she's just stuck in her room. Probably images of her talking to someone about it, not being able to articulate the emotions that she's feeling. Probably all of this interlaced with flashes of fire and bodies and ruins, people dying, the screams of the past, just her not being able to feel like she can fit in because of what she knows, and that instance where she clearly gets like her ceremony in the hunt, but is still on her own, even with all these people who do the same thing, fighting but not enjoying it. Probably even the moment where she shot Cal, and then feeling horrible about that. The scene that you all didn't see of her leaning against that tree, reading a letter that she's holding in her hand, crying, just that overwhelming sense of inadequacy and not knowing what to do.
Okay. Lou, Kudo, either of you ready? You don't have to, it doesn't have to be a huge amount, but if you have, if even it's just the feelings, but yeah, just something that would give us an indication of the kind of things that those characters would feel the most grief about.
For Kudo, you would see basically first seeing a family of Tenukis just cuddled, hugging basically in a circle. Like 4 of them, obviously older than Kudo, 2 of them presumably the parents and 2 older siblings, and a few younger ones. And then Kudo just leaving for the time being with the sword and the metaphorical stick with the bag on the end. I don't know if you have the picture in your head.
Yeah.
And then a time skip forward to basically now, where you just see the family crying over kind of an altar, because they haven't really heard of Kudo back and didn't see him. And presumably they think he's dead. And just the pain he's giving them just by his actions and his attempt of bettering their situation.
Okay. Finally, Lou, what is it that is ripped? Also, I will say that what's being pulled out after it's gone, but you have no control of it in character. Obviously, in as a player you do. But what is that is revealed from Lou?
For Lou, it is her memories as a child. So she, her younger sister, her mother, and her father are in this poor, really poor part of town, playing in a park with some marbles. And she's having a great time playing with her sister, playing with her father. And as they go back to their house, they cross the street with this rich-looking man, and he and her father begin to argue. A long argument, and after a while, the man just hands her father 5 gold, takes Lou and her sister by the wrist, and takes them to a mansion of sorts and puts them to work as servants.
Been ripped from her family, yeah. Oof, okay, so there's this moment, you're caught between these light blasts, and these thoughts and feelings are shared without your consent, but with your full knowledge. You know that, you've seen those thoughts and feelings from other people, and they've seen yours somehow, just with the magic of D&D, guys. And you stagger, you fall, and as you kind of do so, and you look up, about 100 feet away, maybe 150 feet away, relatively very close, is this small glade, and in the glade is this staff that the dragon has mentioned. It's somewhat overgrown with forest crap, lichen, moss, leaves, vines, that kind of thing. But there's this perfect beam of light that's hitting it. But it isn't coming, wherever this beam of light is coming from, it isn't the sun, and you get the distinct feeling that even if it were cloudy or nighttime, there would be a perfect beam of light hitting this thing. I don't want to say sword in the stone vibes, but definitely staff in the forest vibes. But yeah, so Riptide you see her like clenching her fists and like kind of glares around like accusatorily, like almost as if she's challenging anyone to say anything about what they've seen. She's not. Yeah, she's. I don't know. She's deeply ashamed of what she's seen. It's very obvious by like the look on her face.
Wolf just
herself is like glaring towards the floor, and her left hand is unconsciously going towards a pouch on her hip, which makes like the sound of a bunch of marbles like click-clacking against each other.
Wolf just tries to stand up, sort of looking around at everyone, just silently, probably like wipes a tear from her eye with like her cloth, with like a sleeve, and just sort of says, I think we should keep going.
Yeah.
I hope you're right. Yeah. Okay. Let's go.
I think sort of. Well, like obviously she's like looking at everyone to talk to them. She just gives like a small smile to Riptide, like nothing else, just like a reassuring smile.
She, yeah, I think she'd take that. She'd her barriers that she's obviously everyone has like the walls that they put up, and there's cracks that appeared into them for everyone. So she's very unsure of her footing as she walks forward, and as you proceed down to it. As we proceed down to it, how are people doing that? Are they proceeding in a calm, orderly fashion, or are we rushing down towards this thing?
I wouldn't be rushing. Is it like a dip, or is it like a hill?
It's like So these stones that are behind it, and it's very much like imagine like 3 or 4 boulders on top of each other, and then like a slow decline of about 100, and I said 150 feet. So what's that in terms of meters? Like 50 meters away.
Yeah.
It's not super far.
It's not steep.
It's not nothing you have to worry about falling down. The ground is uneven, and like has vines and stuff. And this is not well trodden, but it's not difficult terrain, anything like that. You have a clear run at this thing.
I think I don't know about everyone else, but Wolf would just be sort of slowly, not slowly, but like normal pace going down. But like looking out just in case, and sort of still with that curious sort of look, sort of anything she hears, she's like almost like Doug in Up. Every time she hears something, she like looks around,
squirrel,
and like squirrel, and like holds it for a second before carry on walking, and just like very like senses are in overdrive.
Yeah. As you get within, say, you get about halfway towards it, there's this other explosion of light from both sides that happen at the same time. There's no delay between them. These things.
Is it from that?
It's from the staff. Yeah, okay. It's from the actual It's from like the. So I do have a picture of it somewhere. I'll see if I can find it. I know Beth has it.
I think I might be able to find it.
If you've seen it as well, I have it somewhere.
I have seen the image, but let me see if I can find it.
Yeah, so it's got like this head of it, and this blast is emanating from there. It happens very quickly though, within like a quarter of a second. Enough time for you to register it, but not enough time for you to get out of the way of it. Yes, if you see the VTT, it says very cool looking. But all 3 of you, all 4 of you, including Riptide. So from basically the spot where the butterfly is, there's like this like kind of arc of light that blasts out from it. Again, you're hit by this wave, and for a brief second, you are all paralyzed in absolute terror. You are reliving the moment of your life that is the most frightening for you. The thing that that keeps you awake at night, the thing that like you would give anything not to feel again, that the bone chilling fear of whatever it is that has been the most defining moment of fear in your life. It just washes over you. And again, I will give you some indication of that. For Riptide, it's when she was out. She left home, and she had her weapon. She was out looking to find her way out in the big wide world, and she'd never had any problems. She was much physically bigger than all the elves in her area, and she'd never had any kind of issue in helping herself out. But this is a younger Riptide, much younger, like years and years ago, and she is walking through this desolate landscape, this area of just there's nothing growing there. All the trees have been uprooted. The anything that looks like it's been alive has been like torn from the ground. And she's heading towards a settlement in the future. She's heard rumors that there's a town that needs a hero, so she's heading over there. As she's walking, she pauses to like drink from the stream, and the water's all muddy, so she kind of thinks better of it. And as she kind of like leaves the stream, she turns around and she sees there are 3 hill giants there. Individually, she wouldn't have been concerned with them. She thinks she could have like dealt with them, but there's this moment of fear as these hill giants have seen her and they pounce down and completely physically overpower her. She's never had anything like this before, to be basically completely helpless. She is unable to stop them as they rip her items from her, not her clothes, her like satchel, her bag, as they tear through it looking for something to eat. They are eating all of her rations as one of them just pinned her down completely. She's 100% at their mercy, and she realizes that she's alone in this strange land where nobody knows her. No one knows where she is, and there's a significant chance that she'll never see anyone she knows ever again as she dies at the hands of these hill giants. And that fear paralyzes her temporarily, but then that fear kind of metastasizes in her chest, and it turns from this paralyzing fear into this absolute rage and humiliation that she feels as she's being just bodied by these giants, and it ignites her barbarian rage. And she completely loses her shit. Absolutely, completely loses all control, and engages with one of these hill giants and just tears it to pieces. The lightning, the strength, it's all there. It's all helping her. She's able to shrug off their attacks, but she's lost all control. And when she like simmers down and she's basically realizes that what she's done is completely killed this creature and would have done untold damage to anything else that got into her kind of reach, she is not only terrified at the thought that she isn't as competent as she once thought, but equally she's moments away of completely losing control and really hurting someone if things get too much. And that's what Riptide sees. Who wants to go next?
I'm really struggling to come up with something.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be anything from each other. It could have been at the moment. You could be reliving seeing fake Lafi. It could be,
Yeah, no, that those were went through my mind. I'm just trying to think of something. So
Yeah, I do have something
go for
in
it.
mind. Yeah, for Lou, it would be standing in a closed, like magic items shop. Blood is on the ground. She is maybe 16, 17 years old. She is holding a bloodied knife in her shaking hand, and she's staring at this man who has a stab wound in the chest. He is sitting against a wall, and next to her is an older, dark-haired elf with like with like salt and pepper hair, like slightly white from age. And he is ordering her to finish what she started, and she like can't move it. She like is completely paralyzed with fear. And the man next to her, the elf, kind of like sighs in annoyance and snaps his fingers, and from the back of the shop come crawling out this dwarven woman and child, but they are clearly undead. The woman is missing her right arm and has a giant baseball-sized hole through her chest, and the child doesn't have any legs. And they both slowly crawl their way towards the now weeping and screaming man and begin to eat him alive. and her feelings of absolute
Jesus Christ.
repulsion, fear, and self-loathing at the fact that in no small part she has caused this and would likely continue to cause things like these.
What the fuck?
What?
Yeah, I
Backstory,
would just like to
baby!
I'd just like to chip in that I had no part in that.
Okay. I was like listening and typing, and then like, what the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck?
Yeah. Wow.
Struggling to come up
Is
with
there
one.
like a gore limit I hit like for the month or?
No, that's good. It's all fine. You know, these are your characters. I want you
I think
to.
I did tell you about this before.
Yeah, you may well have done, but I wouldn't listen to know. I had no part in that trauma. Speaking of trauma, who's next?
Well, mine is a lot less drama. For me, it's basically you see Kudo in a cave and picking up the sword in a slightly less glowing fashion. And what you see is kind of confusing, probably, but just nothing happens. So he's picking up the sword and you see just nothing. Yeah. Not much to go on for all the others, but yeah, that's...
So for that, is it? I
So
just want to make sure we understand. So the fear is it that his
Nothing's
fear that
happening.
he's not good enough has been realized, kind of thing.
Yeah, and just that he's not that he's just powerless in front of what's coming and the danger they are going through.
Yeah.
I'm really struggling. So I'm gonna make it weird. I think for Wolf, it is. I think at first it's strange because it's obviously like taking these biggest fears, what keeps us up, what haunts us the most. And I think it's sort of flashes of all of sort of a lot of the time that the group has spent together. Wolf, the vast majority of them is either people talking, laughing, clearly, enjoying other people's company. There's probably a focus on Lafi, the relationship that's brewed from that, the moments, Wolf giving Lafi the letter, helping her friend Rusty, things like that. And then it's probably all just cut immediately by the I guess no one else would recognize it, but just the hallway in the Frigid Fang lair and the stare of evil Lafi, and just all of the flashes of the thoughts, the memories that her and Lafi shared, and just the pure terror of what if it's a lie? What if it's just something to get me to do what they want? What if it's emotional blackmail? Just that pure terror of thinking that all of this was fake.
Yeah, so that those moments are shared. Again, there's like a visceral reaction from Riptide as she kind of like she wipes something from her face. You don't get a chance to quite see what it was. Definitely from the eye region. She wipes it. She glares around at all of you, and she's like, "There's something I'd rather keep to myself." If I'm being truly honest, guys, I didn't. I'm not very happy about this. Let's get that goddamn staff.
Yeah, it's
Well, you should come over from there. You're standing in the rain, as it seems.
Yeah, thank you, kiddo. Fucking hell, Lou. You gotta laugh. Right, okay.
You're laughing like I was going to cry.
Yeah. Let's go. And so you approach this thing. You get kind of basically
I think
to
for
it.
anyone looking, Wolf is like shaking slightly.
Yeah, I think all of you, a physical reaction would be
Yeah.
100%,
Appropriate.
and expected. So as you approach it, you basically arrive to it. This thing is like in the ground somewhat. It looks like it's placed in the ground. Who's reaching for it?
I think
I kind of picture this thing. You kind of all stood in like a semicircle around it, and there's this moment of like you look to the person on to your right with like raised eyebrows.
I can just look at
You
everyone
sure?
for a still that sort of curiosity, that sort of like all these emotions. But she's like, it's like when it was like a sugar rush when you're really excited, bouncing up and down slightly, just like the nervousness and the curiosity of what's going to happen. So I think Wolf's just like, she says like, I can do it if you want, if it's okay. And like as she's saying it, she's already like going to reach for it.
Yeah.
She's not like grabbing it. If someone wants to stop her, they can. But she's like, her hand is moving forward.
Yeah. So as you are right next to it, those feelings that I've described, your curiosity, Lafi's curiosity, the grief, the fear, they have passed. You are no longer like under the thrall of somebody else's emotions. What emotion is going through Wolf as she reaches out to it? What is she feeling as she reaches out to it?
I think it's a mix between this sense of the unknown, if that makes sense, the mystery of what is going to happen. Like, for all she knows, Lafi could not come back, and this could all be some weird fucking test from this dragon. But it's sort of that mixed with this feeling of hope, almost. Like, hope that with these people, with this staff, with Lafi, things can be better. And while she doesn't usually think it, there could be a light at the end of this tunnel.
Okay. Cool. Interesting. So you reach out for it. Is anyone going to try and stop her?
No. Nah.
Okay. You reach out and you grab the staff. There's this like it's weirdly cold considering it's apparently being bathed in sunlight. It's not like frozen, but it feels very much like something you'd find in a cave. Like that kind of like just not been touched by sunlight.
Cold damp sort of.
Yeah. Well, not wet, but
not damp. That sort of weird. Yeah. It's not cold. No, it's not wet, but it's so cold that it almost feels.
Yeah. Your hand goes around it. Yeah.
And can I try and pull it?
Mm-hmm. You make a strength check, please.
Oh Jesus!
Or athletics.
They're the same.
Yeah.
If you do a backflip with the staff, you
I'm
can
going
do
to use
acrobatics.
advantage just to see.
15. Yeah. So, as you first try to do it with the 12, it's moving from the soil, but the lich in the moss, the vines, whatever it is, the debris of the debris and detritus of the forest are grasping onto it. But you square your shoulders and put your feet shoulder length apart and lift with your legs rather than your back, and there's this tearing sound from the ground as the roots from the moss and the vines start to break free, and it pops out of the ground. You take a small step backwards, and then there's another flash that's basically right in your face. Balls completely blind you as you are overwhelmed again with these thoughts and feelings. This time it's excitement that is flooding you. So it's for you the most exciting thing, the most exciting moment of your lives thus far. And for Riptide, it is when long after the incident with her parents, when she felt like she was she had this moment, this one day realization of being utterly alone, and it's before she'd had this thing with the trolls. She'd swam out to the reef. She'd heard this rumor, this legend almost, of this powerful weapon that was buried in the coral, waiting for someone to find it. And people have been searching for this thing. It's people have been going out there with the metal detectors and their maps on a picnic for years. And it was kind of not a prophecy, but it's his legend had it that it would only reveal itself to the right person at the right time. And she was out there swimming one night in this reef, and nighttime swimming in the reef is not recommended for a couple of reasons. One of them being sharks. But Riptide has always been kind of a bit blasé about stuff like that. She's never really concerned herself with sharks. She's a fast swimmer. and she was, she was out, like she was strong, so she was out there. And there's this moment in the moonlight as she was like searching around for this area, like kind of looking for a clue, and the moon was bright in the sky. And all of a sudden, it went completely dark. She thought, oh shit! There's a fucking shark, guys. I'm screwed." She looked up to see this shark body, and it wasn't there. The moon had basically been completely blotted out by something. And she looked up. She swam to the surface to see what it was, and she realised it was Algad, the dragon. And this moment, this really unusual moment, is very sleepy dragon. Doesn't often do anything, but it left its cave to have a find something to eat, have a swim around, like do whatever it is dragons do. And it was there hovering, kind of observing the nighttime sea. And every time it flapped its wings, these beams of moonlight shot down from the moon and pierced the ocean and illuminated the reef beneath it. And it's beautiful kind of like strobing effect as the dragon kept itself aloft. Riptide watched it for a few moments, and she kind of looked down. She saw something glinting in the moonlight, and this birthmark on her neck and her chest, this thing she'd had for her whole life. She kind of felt it itching as she saw this thing that was down beneath her, and so she swam down to try and figure out what it was. And this real feeling of excitement and anticipation as she saw this part of the reef that was like slightly more regimented than perhaps it should be, and it was only this strobing effect of the moonlight that was illuminating this like long straight bit of reef. And the coral itself, like coral's very sharp and very dangerous to like shred your skin. She very carefully reached in and she rubbed her arm against this coral, and it didn't hurt at all. It was almost like it had been smoothed down away from something. She grabbed it and pulled it out as she knew she'd found what she was looking for. This overwhelming excitement and happiness as she pulled out the pike that you often see her fight with, this live coral pike. As soon as she pulled it out, the dragon's flown away, and she's sitting there thinking stuff. Oh my god, am I the prophesized one who's found this? Is Algad led me to this thing? Is this a coincidence? What the hell? Oh my god, this is incredible. Maybe I am able to go out and find my fortune. She's had this moment of like full acceptance of, right, I'm going to go out there. I'm going to be a goddamn badass. I'm swimming in the reef at night. A dragon's led me to this bloody pike. This is incredible. And so she's had this moment of absolute joy and excitement, and that's shared. And like as it fades back, like you see this moment of like on her face now, this like very fond memory that she's actually quite happy to have shared with someone. I don't think she's ever shared it with anyone before, especially since I just fucking made it up. But yeah, so has anyone else got an exciting thing that they would like to share from their past?
Mine's very obvious.
Yeah, but we're trying to keep it PG here. So.
The PG version at least is just various moments of Wolf and Lafi talking, them being close. Probably a lot of the time it's moments when Lafi is smiling or laughing, or moments where the two of them have been very happy together. And I think new to everyone else, because obviously they've assumed and seen a few things. So the ring that Wolf has in her hand, this sort of wolf ring, they see the moment that Lafi gave it to her, sort of her taking it out of the box and showing it, the small conversation they had before Lafi putting it on her finger and then sharing a moment.
Nice.
And Wolf is like, it's just simple. Anyone looking, Wolf's just like smiling to herself now, looking down at the ground and looking down at the stuff.
Yeah, this is nice. Finally, a nice memory to share.
Yeah.
Kudo, Lou, anything from you guys?
For Lou, it will be so she's in an underground safe house, so to say, and she is staring down at this leather book she has in her hand, and there's this twisted, almost intoxicating sense of excitement and dread as she quickly puts her in a bag, leaves the underground safe house, and just begins to run. A big smile on her face as she realizes that she can actually change maybe for the better.
Nice. And Kudo, what's the moment that was the most exciting for Kudo?
Yes. Was or is going to be
The thing
Wait,
you're
what?
most excited for, I think, is a.
Yeah, I was confused by your past tense. Yes. For Kudo, you see him standing on a hill, slightly more heroic. Imagine sundown, standing in the last sunlight and just looking very heroic, looking down on a very big forest. And you just hear in some kind of what's the word, where a spot where there are no trees in a forest?
Glade?
Clearing.
Yeah. And you just hear a party coming from the sounds of a party coming from there. Yeah, just having.
Do we get a feeling of the creatures? Is it like a return home for Kudo, or is it just like a him being celebrated by anyone?
Basically, just having what's the? I'm searching for the word. I don't even know the right one in German. Just having made it possible for his family to have this moment and this very nice and big
Oh, right,
forest
I
to live. That
see.
kind.
Okay, that's
So it's
nice.
like his triumphant.
His
Yeah.
success, almost his
Yeah.
triumph and success
Yeah, in that way.
of securing it. Okay,
Yeah.
that's nice. Oh, that's nice. Okay, cool. So there's this shared moment as you pull the staff out, as you look around at each other. Riptide's like looking at Kudo with a kind of a new respect, like impressed that because that's quite an unselfish thing. Like, you've done it. There's a party going on, but you're not at the party. Kind of like it's. I don't know. Like some like she's doing it for you. I think so. So the feeling that you got from Riptide, like the memories that you've shared with her, would indicate that she went out to adventure simply because she felt that she could not stay where she was, and is doing it as a thing to do, not for some grand like heroic reason. Like, that's like only a part of it. She's doing it so she can have money and nice things and be a success. And to see someone doing it, and the thing they're most excited for is something like not even being perhaps recognized for it, is like quite inspiring for her. And there's this moment of like, so when you communicate with Wolf, obviously you're sharing like your internal monologues, you're firing your thoughts at Wolf, but there's this still like lingering moment of like empathy soup from all of you. Like, you are like picking, like almost like detect thoughts almost, but you're like picking up on like the surface levels emotions.
Detect emotions.
Yeah, detect emotions kind of thing. And she's proud, man. She's proud to be like hanging around with someone who wants to do that. Yeah. But yeah, you have the staff in your hands now.
Sorry, I'm just writing that down.
Empathy soup.
Write that down.
Okay. So I think as soon as we sort of come out that moment, everyone's probably more like vividly remembering those nice memories as a nice thing. Probably just thinking about it for a beat or two before like looking at like checking ahead. We ready to? We should probably go back.
Yeah, for sure. We don't know. I don't know what Lafi's doing in there, but if this is echoing her emotions, God forbid she sees anything worse. Let's get it back to her.
She's all right. Yeah, let's go.
Oh,
And then
I think with that excitement, she is.
Yeah.
Well,
And Wolf's not even there.
Well, maybe she's thinking of Wolf. I don't know. But I don't know. We don't know. Let's get it back to her and ask.
What did you say, Lou? Sorry.
before we return to the others, I think we should talk in private.
Can
And she
we do
just
that
begins
afterwards?
to walk away.
What? We need to get this back to.
No, I mean after we return it, we need
Okay.
to talk privately.
Okay. Yeah. Wolf just begins to. Whereas before she was like being like measured and like going carefully, she's just running.
Okay, running back. As you are running back, there's this final moment from the staff and the pond where there's this eruption of power. Again, you are all blinded by it from a brief second, and you're filled with this. It's like a. I think the best word for it would be dread.
Oh, Jesus.
Like the as you're approaching like the thing, this moment of encapsulating dread. The visual, the feeling you get from Riptide as like this staff, this bolt of light encompasses her. This is something that hasn't happened. This is the sort of the thing that she is. This is the thing she would like to happen least. It's not something she's really afraid of because it technically is something she's in control of happening. But she dreads seeing her family before she is ready for them to see her. She is in a cocoon at the moment. She is mid-metamorphosis. She is transitioning from the slightly awkward young elf woman through this adventuring phase with the goal to become this like paragon of power. Like she wants to become a success, be that like the strongest of the strong, or rich, or just something that people can be proud of, or what she would consider proud of. And she dreads like her family seeing her before she's ready and reminding her of how much a piece of shit she thinks she is. So she dreads like just not being good enough when the time comes. And it's quite existential, obviously, but she's got this much. So she's putting all this work in, and she's getting there bit by bit. She's not up to the scratch, and the moment anyone like not criticizes but puts a magnifying glass on her, that for her would be something she would really hate, and it would be 10 times worse if it was her family. Also in there a little bit is this absolute mortifying fear of being compared to Lafi, who she clearly perceives as like the apex of like elven femininity.
Apex woman.
Yeah, like she perceives her as, so she's like classic elven beauty kind of thing, and she's she's feminine, she's good with animals, she's loving, she's caring, she's everything that Riptide perceives she isn't. And the like as that moment goes out, like the dread is also you guys knowing that, but it's out. What are you guys dreading? If anyone says this, I will kill you.
You beat me to the joke. I was thinking it. So I'm still typing that last bit.
Despite suggesting that she and Wolf should talk after delivering the staff, Lou is feeling a dread that becomes heavier and heavier the closer they get to, having said conversation.
Okay. Do we? So obviously you don't have to tell us what the conversation's about, but can you allude to the? I don't want to say the reason, but like the emotions that Lou, like the vaguest emotions of why Lou is dreading having that conversation. What is it? Is she afraid that she's going to be revealed to be like a liar, a cheat, a thief? That kind of. Is she like Is she worried about a revelation? Is she worried about potentially Wolf's reaction? That kind of thing. What is it? You don't have to tell us specifically, but like, what is it she's dreading?
Yeah. So, in Lou's eye, Wolf is basically police, so to say, like a law enforcement, so to say. And she just saw Lou at least on one occasion, working with what could only be considered a necromancer, and she's dreading the confrontation they're about to have about it.
Interesting.
One second.
Yeah. That
Okay.
is. Have you got one?
Yeah, I think it's. I don't have a in mind.
It doesn't. Dread can be a quite.
Yeah. It's the. I think what people. It's going to be really weird. So, it's like an image of the birthday party they had a few days ago. You know, a lot of the people who Wolf cares about in that room.
Is it someone singing "Happy Birthday" to you?
Yes, it's the clip of you singing "Happy Birthday." No, it's that sort of when everyone was chatting, Wolf was just sort of sitting and just watching it. It's that fear of, and probably in the moment, people see like people falling, people hurting. It's that fear of the people who she cares about, that dread of not being good enough to protect the people who she now cares about. Probably a slight hint to Lily, that sort of not being able to help a person dying whom she cares for and not being able to help, that dread of not being enough to save the people who you love.
Okay, Kudo. What is it Kudo dreads?
Oh god damn it! I'm. Well, for Kudo, it's a mix of the really monochromatic, I think is a good word for it, landscape of the planet we fought, but like that landscape copy pasted onto what you saw before as a lush forest, now just being a red blood maze.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. So this moment of dread passes as you are just approaching like the apex of the hill. So you're able to get most of the way back, and you are released from it, and you see like a fairly substantially anguished look on Riptide's face, like anguish and like just so much embarrassment. Like you've probably never seen the look at that look on her face, just like deep shame. And she's as she like strides past, and like basically like without, not in as many words, but like is gonna gently physically encourage you to get rid of this fucking staff.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, Wolf is moving. As soon as
Yeah.
she comes out of the moment, she's like takes a moment, like holds her head, and then just keeps like trying to move, like not wanting to think about that memory or that idea.
Riptide is, I think she's got quite a lot of movement, so she's like almost half as fast as you again, and she's like, she just strides ahead of you, isn't looking at anybody, like head held high, away from you. She walks back round to this glade. But yeah, so as you come around, the dragon is there. I think it's like prowling around Azalea and Rusty. They are in exactly the same positions they were when they got held, in inverted commas. It doesn't look like whatever's been affecting them has been affecting you. They're like almost like they're on pause. The dragon, however, is like kind of patrolling around them almost like a cat, and every so often like winces as he kind of like orbits them slightly. And he's there, and he looks up and he goes, yes, staff, bring it to the pool. Bring it to the pool.
Yeah, well, for me, as he's saying that, just like nods and yeah, okay. It just sort of walks up to the pool and looks at the dragon for like holding it in a hand, like what, like give him like the what should I do?
Place it Place it between the two pools, and we shall have to hope that the sisters can return to it.
Wolf just very delicately finds the spot between the two pools and places it down as much as she can, as carefully as she can.
The dragon's gonna pad round and breathe some more of that radiant energy over the staff itself. As it, and when it does so, the dragon seems to, like I said before, it seems to take part of its life force. I don't want to be super dramatic about it, but it dulls. He becomes less of a glowing crystal thing and becomes just more and more physically mundane as it does this. And it seems to take a lot of effort for him to do this. But he breathes over this staff, and the glow that was building in it seems to diminish somewhat. And it staggers and turns around and looks at you all and goes, I felt the power coming from the emotions coming from the pool. I hope it was not too trying for you all.
It wasn't nicest, but it's just another memory.
I will guard the pools. I will try to bring her back, though I do not know how long it will take. If you want to have a private conversation, now would be the time.
Wolf just doesn't really want to leave the side of the pool, but knows that Lou wants to have a conversation. Just sort of looks over to her, just as if what do you want? Where do you want to go?
Lou, with her head, vaguely nods towards the tree line because we're still in the forest, I assume. And begins to walk there, a little bit apart from the clearing.
I think Wolf just sort of looks at the two pools, the one that Lafi sort of went into, just clenches his fist and tries to breathe, and just sort of walks, looks back to see where Lou's going, just walks backwards while still staring at the pool, like that moment when you don't want a dream to end or something, where you just keep looking or just don't want to take your eyes off it. Just sort of keeps walking back and just keeps her eyes on the pool as she sort of gets close to Lou.
Next saving throw, you eat shit from a protruding tree
A
branch. Once they're, I would say a minute walking away
Wolf wouldn't go that far.
Oh, okay. Well,
I mean, so for
sort of
context,
within
there's a dragon
eyeline.
who's
No, I know,
not
I know.
paying attention.
I'm aware.
No, this is for Luke.
No,
So there's a dragon who's not paying attention, whose focus is now completely on these two pools and this staff. There's two people who are basically idle animation T-posing. There is Riptide, who is furiously ripping grass out of something, just really frustrated, away from everyone, tearing grass out of the floor, chucking rocks at trees, swearing under breath, not paying any attention to anything. The person you want to talk to, and Kudo.
The only thing I was going to say is that when Wolf sort of gets close to that tree line, still within eyesight of the pool, she just turns around to see where Lou is, and just as she sees her, just says, "You can talk in my head."
Okay. Lou takes a deep breath and takes out the vicious sword, gently puts it on the ground and against a tree, and begins to drop her weapons, and turns around and spreads her arms a little bit, okay, you can kill me now.
What do you mean?
Don't play ignorant. You saw me. You saw it. Me at the shop.
Mm-hmm.
You saw me working with the necromancer.
Just a question out of game. Was the person who Lou was taken, who took Lou and her sister, was that the same person who's in that room?
No, that was another person.
Yeah, different person.
The one that took Lou, I'm making this up as I go, was a tiefling, and the one she was with was an elf.
Okay.
High elf, if you want to be more specific.
Yes, fine. I think Wolf just sighs and says, "Pick up the weapon. I'm not going to kill you."
Pick it up. Pick up the gun. Call it self-defense.
Dude turns around, but like she's like not quite glaring at you, but she like narrowed her eyes. Like, are you stupid? You have hated me since day one. You have been waiting for an excuse to either throw me out of the party or get rid of me.
That's not true. While I don't always like your methods, and I do find you irritating, I don't want to kill you.
Necromancers are kill on sight.
And you're
Necromancy
not
is
a
illegal.
necromancer. That person was.
I am not innocent.
I never said you were innocent. But I can tell from what I saw that it is something you didn't like to do. Unless something has changed, I see no reason why I should kill you.
I also do necromancy, and I grabbed one of my daggers from the floor, and I don't know if this would work from a technical standpoint, like from a games rules standpoint, but I want to stab the tree and have the whales of the grave attack another tree.
Oh, that's cool. Okay.
Yeah, so
I'm going to say for the sake of yes. So that's really fun. I
That's
like
fun,
that.
actually, yeah.
I do want to describe it.
Wait, I just need to check one thing. Does a tree count as a creature?
No, I mean, it's living.
So,
It's just, there are plants in D&D. I will say because
That
you have
one
an
is
ally
a tree ent with 1 HP.
because you have an ally in 5 feet. You
I
get a sneak
think
attack.
by the definition of biology, a tree is a creature. Yes.
Yeah.
yeah, there are spells that specifically like do like double damage against plants and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah. No, that's cool. I like it. I'm going to say yes, you can. So describe for us, please. Paint a word picture.
Yeah,
Of
so
what
Blue
happens.
like sinks her dagger into this tree, and like from the back of her neck, like a pulse of shadow travels towards her arm into the dagger, into the tree itself, and from the tree you see a dark clawed hand ripping apart itself apart from the tree's insides, and it looks like Lou, but like a shadow of Lou, and with blazing blue eyes, and with a snarl, it rips itself free from the tree and flies towards another, and like rips into it with its clawed hand.
Wow. Hold on, I'm just writing that down.
That's really cool.
That's actually a really cool description.
I have been waiting for months.
Yeah, it's session 23, guys. And,
Yeah.
we're just using the subclass feature now.
Sorry, 1 second. Yes, so I think, as you say, you do necromancy. Wolf like does take like a half step back and like tilts her head to the side, and then you do that. And she's been holding her crossbow just this whole time, but she like almost like twitches to like go and move to like attack, but she like puts her hand down and stops herself and says, "Oh,
So to intercede,
mhm.
can you make me a history check?
Jeez, okay. Do I have
Faith
advantage?
Fiends Undead. Yes, you do have advantage. Yeah.
Fuck yeah! This is the first time ever.
I think it is.
It's probably. Oh, that's a 3.
Oof,
I
oof.
only rolled once. I have advantage.
Oof.
Feel point.
James, you know
Yeah.
my history's terrible. 13.
Yeah, 13. Right. So you see this, and you are desperately trying to think what the hell is happening. You know from your time in the Midnight Hunt that there are the White Bloods, WIGHT,
Yes.
not WHOTE. They are the White Bloods, who are people who were born with the touch of the necromancy curse, whatever it is, the lingering effects of the Lich War. That is one of the many reasons that necromancy is outlawed just throughout the continent. This isn't that. This is something different, though it might be kind of along the same...
Like adjacent.
Adjacent, yeah, adjacent would be probably a good word for it. The people who were born with the white blood effect generally have some kind of like physical disfigurement in terms of like their skin is grey and potted, or they look vaguely undead. The major worry about them is that they like can and do summon undead thralls, like just actively within areas of Hallow, and these creatures are under the control of the sorcerers and nothing else, and they just rain absolute mayhem when they get about. This is much more clinical and surgical. This seems to be completely under loose control. This, you've been in, I won't say loads, you've been in a fair few. Off the top of my head, I'm gonna say like 5 or 6 fairly dangerous fights with Lou. 1 or 2 of them have been like very dangerous, like significantly to the point that she could have died. This is something that she's obviously sat on. Racking your brain, you know that there are a very, very small number of people who've demonstrated the same thing, and of them, the Midnight Hunt has been like used to intercede with those people. Sometimes they've been successful, and this person has been arrested, taken out, whatever, and then just disappeared off to the Isle of Broken Swords, or this person has escaped. This would not be something that you yourself would be necessarily be like a shoot on sight. This would be potentially something you would be asked to feed back to your boss, and they'd make the decision, kind of thing. But this is obviously not the first necromancer you've seen this group do.
Yeah. Right. Where's Andre? Okay. I think seeing this, Wolf has those thoughts, and just sort of looks almost confused. Because I don't know about you. I don't know if this is up to you. Do you think she would have interacted with any white bloods?
It is like the primary role of the Midnight.
Yes.
That's what they were set to do. So I will leave it up to you, because they are. So like 1 in 12 people is a sort. Like if we just is it 1 in 12 or 13? I don't know. Has a propensity to be a sorcerer, and of them like 1 in another 12. So like 1 in 144 people has a propensity to be a white blood. They don't have any choice in it.
Yeah, it just happens. It's like
it just kind of happens. It's like it's like a gene, and as well. It's like not all of them are super fucking over the moon about it. Some of them are like awesome, cool. I'm going to be a lich, and some for like shit. I wanted to be a teacher, and now I have to go to Guantanamo Bay. Like that's kind of the vibe. So I would say like it's completely up to you. Okay. If you haven't interacted with them, it's been like you try to bring them in alive. If that is going to be difficult, then it's like a stated fact that no one's gonna you're not gonna get bollocked if you shoot this person in the throat.
Okay. So I think what Wolf does is she sort of takes a moment and just takes in what she knows and what she sees Lou do, and she walks over to the point where Lou put down the short sword, and sort of picks it up, and sort of in her offhand sort of swings it a few times. She walks closer to Lou, and then takes a deep breath and sort of flips the sword and holds it out to her like she did when she first gave it to her, and just says, I am not sure what I'm going to do about this information, but in this moment you are more helpful than not. And the only thing I would ask is that if you want to put things in my bag of holding, you can ask. You don't have to hide it.
Lou is first when you approach her with the sword, she's like bracing herself to like be stabbed or something. And after you present the handle, she's like thoroughly confused, and then like she doesn't say anything, but you can see like immediate panic in her eyes as you mention the item in the bag of holding.
I didn't
But
look at it, but I know it's in there.
since when?
A little bit. I look in the bag of holding, and I know what I put in there, and I know I didn't put a book in there.
Are you sure about this?
Nope. But I think it's more likely that you are helpful and not an evil necromancer trying to kill us.
I know 35 people who would disagree with you, and I slowly take the sword and put it back in its sheath.
Well, I don't know those people.
I do. I have a list with their names. Doesn't matter. No, never mind.
Just put your armor back on. I want to go back.
Yeah, and suddenly, and like with a complicated expression, Lou begins to pick her things up and put them in their rightful place.
You are kind of left as Wolf and Lou sneak into the woods to have their, dare I say it, hopefully their enemies to lovers.
Why do you want to ship this?
No,
You've said
no,
this multiple times.
Yeah, I've said it before. No,
And it's not happening.
It's not happening.
No,
No, I know.
Stop talking.
So they go off to have their private conversation, whatever that's about. You weren't invited, I'm afraid. You are left with a annoyed Riptide. I think it's probably the best way to describe it. She is visibly frustrated, annoyed. She was like tearing grass out of cracks in the rock, like kicking things, chucking stones at trees, like huffing and puffing. What is it you're doing?
I think the most kudo thing to do at this point is to put some random stones in the fire. Wait, it's mid of day, isn't it? We're
Yes.
not having. Okay, I imagine it would be evening and we had a campfire going. It just felt like it.
I don't think you've really been there long. You've only been there, I think, for like 30 minutes tops. You've not been there a long time.
It's latest of like 4 p.m.
Oh, I really do think it's closer to like 2:30, 3ish, because like it's not deep into the forest, and that moment of you going to get the staff would have taken you like less than a minute. It's just that obviously we had to discuss what happened, so it wouldn't have taken you very long at all.
There's no way I wrote down the time, right?
It doesn't matter. You know, it's fantasy midday. Don't worry about
But
it.
now I'm pissed off. I want to know.
I only want it a little bit earlier, so you've got time to do stuff
about
afterwards.
midday, we get out the city.
It's 11:55.
That's what I have written down. So it's probably like 3.
Yeah, okay, fine. It's going to be a long day then. Like it won't get dark till like 8ish, 9ish at the earliest then.
It's like summer, so yeah.
That's fine. Don't worry about it. It's fine. But so what is it Kudo's doing then?
I will ask Riptide if she's okay. Because she's just frantically.
Not frantically. She's just like visibly frustrated. Like she's embarrassed. She's frustrated. She like when you like speak to her, she kind of whips around, like she snaps around at you, and she looks pissed. And then she kind of like tries to like gather herself a little bit. It's just, yeah, sorry, Kudo, mate. It's you know, I know it's a bit for all of us, but some things I'd rather keep behind closed doors. You know, some things I'd rather not get out there. And she walks around to Rusty and Azalea, and she's kind of looking at them. She goes, "Do you think they picked up on what we saw? Do you think they shared in it? We didn't get anything from them."
Sorry, what?
Do you think that they got the flashes of the memories as well? Because we didn't get anything from them.
Wait, didn't we?
No, from Azalea and Rusty, you didn't know.
Oh, Well, they are still just T-posing, so I don't think they did.
She's like looking at Azalea. She goes, "Well, let's not tell him. Yeah, let's keep it from her, right? I think there's some things that I'd rather that not everyone knew."
Well, I won't tell her,
Yeah.
obviously.
Thanks, man. What about how you doing? Okay, there's some. I said it was. I said when we saw your little hopes and dreams for the forest. It's quite touching, mate. I thought it was nice. It was good.
Yeah, but for now they are only hopes and dreams, so...
Well,
And since going on this trip, there's not really been a whole lot of good news for, well, not only the forest, but I think whole of the world, since we've basically found a complete valley rotted out by a single plant.
yeah, but you remember that you were there. You were like, yeah. Well, I only heard about this, but you like saved it, didn't you? You killed it.
Yes, but it also seemed like it was only part of a bigger problem, or maybe fleeing from another problem.
Oh, I can't speak to that, mate. But you put good things out in the world, and you get good things back. That's the dream, isn't it?
I guess.
Yeah. Well, I'd say at this point, Yupa, Lou, and Wolf can have returned if you like.
Before we would have returned, Lou would show Wolf one last thing, and she lowers her hoodie, and on her nape, you see like the skin like has like a porcelain style crack, and underneath you see like bones.
Oh.
Yeah, I gained that ability by a ritual done by the elf you saw me with. Just,
Alright, I'm happy you.
Can you roll a deception check?
No, I was gonna say I'm happy that you're all comfortable and or scared enough to show it.
Thanks for not shooting me in the back. And I put my hood up again and begin to like power walk towards the clearing.
Wolf just like stands there stunned for like 3 seconds.
Yeah. Gross.
And then just like walks slowly behind her, just like it's probably as soon as Wolf exits that like block tree line, she just like goes and sits next to the pool, like cross-legged, looking just into it.
As you walk past, you see obviously Kudo is there. He's just been chatting with Azalea. Sorry, with Riptide. Riptide stood kind of near Rusty and Azalea, like looking at them both. Spending a lot of time like looking at Azalea, and like it's very like when you walk past, she kind of like it's kind of embarrassed to look at you almost. She's there. She's sees you coming, and she kind of like turns her face from you slightly.
I would notice that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You've just like I don't know if she's looking. She like does that thing where she goes to say something, but sort of like puts her hand down and doesn't want to intrude if she's not comfortable. Just like goes to look at the pond.
Yeah. So the pond is it's like how to best describe this? Kind of like Pasta Donnata yellow at this point. Like I can't. My brain is gone. It's like glowing, but the weird thing about it is it's not glowing out. It's kind of like it's glowing in, like it's drawing in the ambient glow. So not from the dragon, but like where before the cliffs. Oh, sorry, cliff. That's a really kind of aggressive way of describing it. The rock piles were like hyper lit up from this glow. It's like it's pulling back in everything it put out, so the like stages of it. If it's winding down, and Procyon looks around to you, like, and he's like panting a little bit, and his face, even though it's like the size of a young dragon, you can see it now. It's very lined and old, like much older than he would appear from the outside, and he's like slowly gasping for breath, and it says, "I feel she will be returning to us soon." It seems the rejuvenation is complete, or completing. And as these swells of light like wind down, you feel like that shared empathy, the empathy soup, being drawn from you. But as it does, let's take like a temperature check of the feelings in the room. That's such a wanky sentence. But from Riptide, there's a clear embarrassment and fear that what of her has been put out there for you guys. Like she's accepted what that you've seen, what she didn't want you to see, and since it didn't really affect any of you directly, she's not cool with it. But she's kind of like accepted. She's pissed off with it, but like she can live with it. But she's very, very worried about Wolf knowing how she perceives Lafi, and it's not like a desire. I just want to be very clear. She thinks Lafi's like radiant and stunning and all these things, but it's not like there's no like desire for her. She's like sees her now as a friend or as like a cousin or sister. But it's how she perceives her as like this this ideal idolized version of perhaps what she should be, and that she's just never going to get there. And like it's not like seeing her as painful, but it's like it's that Wolf knows now that that she is like super envious of her girlfriend. But there's also this like real fear that the weakness that was shared will be passed on, and like that will be talked about, specifically with Azalea. There's some like probably quite unresolved feelings going on about Azalea, that she doesn't want her to know how poorly she thinks of herself. She wants to be, great. And that's kind of the last thing you feel from Riptide before the cord is pulled.
Noise.
Yeah. What are we getting from you guys?
Okay, I was going to wait for someone else to jump in first. I think from Wolf, it's because there was a lot shown, but a lot of it was sort of already known. She's a bit. I think more than anything else, she's clearly all of those memories that she's got are clearly like at the surface of her brain, and she's clearly like overwhelmed. I get that sense of like just being generally overwhelmed, and the thoughts running through her head of all different kinds. She's just looking into this pool and just hoping beyond hope that everything's going to be all right. And just that.
Is it a hope or is it a fear that it won't be all right?
It's a mix. I think it's probably, let's say it's more leaning to the fear side. The fear that what she's opened herself up, whether, normally or unwillingly, like in this case, she's afraid that all of this is going to be for nothing if something bad happens, either in this moment or in the future or whatever.
Okay. And what about from Lou?
Lou is relieved and confused at the fact that Wolf didn't alt yellow her in the tree.
Oh my god!
What a
I'm
brilliant
gonna write that in my
phrase.
notes.
Yeah, that's epic.
Lou
And
is...
Oh
she
my
has...
god! Next time, like we kill a major NPC, I'm going to use that phrase.
Please don't.
Yeah.
I'll yell at them.
Beth will cry.
That's
Steve.
incredible.
Steve, poor bastard, got all yellowed after, behind the restaurant.
Yeah, geez.
That sounds.
that is what happened to Indigo.
Yeah.
No, he got yelled on the boat because he's an idiot.
So there is relief and confusion for Wolf's actions, and there's a small hope that the rest of the party also would react in a similar manner.
Okay.
And also a lot of paranoia about what the party might react like.
Yeah. Fair. And last and certainly not least, Kudo. What are the overwhelming feelings we get from you?
Kudo has a vibe of just trying to not think too much about having the pressure of just being in kind of charge of what result is gonna end up happening for basically for the world at this point, but in his thoughts mainly the forest.
Okay, so as you are as these there's the wet slopping sucking sound as the empathy soup drains into the as these cords or these ribbons of feelings are pulled from you, and you feel like this wave being drawn into the into the pond. I keep saying ponds. It's not a pond. It's a pool.
Sorry.
These pools in front of you. You feel this wave pulling in. You see Azalea and you see Rusty kind of like collapse, for lack of a better word, like just like the strings have been cut. But they like very quickly like gather themselves. Like whatever was holding them has been released. Riptide rushes to Azalea to help her to her feet. Rusty kind of scrambles to his own, like shaking his head and like batting at his eyes, trying to like bring himself kind of into focus. Wolf, you the one who picked out the staff. I need you to make a con saving throw, please.
Oh.
And Rusty's going on too.
I don't have
0 points. Do it.
No, I'm gonna
Save
fail.
yourself.
No, that's fine. Don't worry about it. It's not the worst thing in the world. It's not obviously great, but it's not the worst thing in the world to fail. So, as you're stood there, and like Rusty kind of pulls himself up and like Rusty succeeded, yeah.
Okay.
Well, you think he did. Like there's no outward like sign that anything awful's happened. You feel this like tug as something in the center of your chest, and you feel this heat. It's almost a burning. It's almost like a heartburn feeling, and you see Rusty kind of react to something too. And for a moment, you see him kind of perhaps as I don't know. Actually, this is a really good question. How does Wolf perceive Rusty? Like, what are the when you see someone and they like tick 3 boxes in your head, and so for Lafi it may be like love, affection, and whatever, and like concern for her safety. What is it that Wolf sees when he sees Rusty?
I think for Wolf, it's a almost sort of like you just said. It's like a concern for his safety, definitely. A element of confusion at like who he is and or was, just general like confusion of that. And like, I'm not sure, because in my head I've always pictured Wolf caring about Rusty because of how much Lafi cares about Rusty.
Yeah, my girlfriend's dog vibe.
No, I don't like describing him as a dog.
But you know what I mean, though. It's like my girlfriend.
Yeah, sort of like that want to protect him because of how much he means to Lafi. I don't know how the best way to describe it in like 3 words, but I hope you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, that's fine. So as you see him, like you looking at him, you see like he's reacting to this thing in his chest, like not like it's painful, but like he doesn't know what it is. And as you look down at him, he's got this glow coming.
Probably
from,
looking like sort of eyeline because I'm sitting down.
Yeah, well, I mean, like you're looking at him, he's got this. You're looking across him, and he's got this like it looks like the beam of light that was being reflected from the pond is hitting him like square in the chest. But it's like there's no shadow there when he goes to scratch it. There's this ball of like, just pure white light, and you got the same like heartburny-esque feeling. You look down.
If I look down, do I have that same thing?
You have a very similar one. Yours is not. I'm not going to say not as pure. Yours is interwoven with other colors. Okay. It's like almost marbly in its like there's. So his is very simple, and yours is slightly more complicated. I'm not going to say less pure. His is very simple. His is simple. Yours is slightly more complicated. Different colors run through it. But as you kind of notice this is bubbling from the pool, and you turn around and you can see that all of the light is kind of subsumed back into it, and all this light is diffused as Lafette stands up from the pool. And what do the guys see?
You see Lafi in her white dress that she was in from the very first time you met her. She has this very slight glow to her skin. Her hair is like falling in perfect curls, and she just looks completely like refreshed. Pretty much like the first time you met her.
The group stand around you, looking. I'm not gonna say worse for wear, physically, emotionally. Emotionally, they've been like they've read a very sad book. Riptide is like picking Azalea off the floor, like holding her up. Rusty and Wolf. Wolf is cross-legged, very near to the pool where you are. Lou and Kudo a little bit further back, but next to Wolf is this glowing staff that is just radiant on the floor that you recognize.
I think her first thought would be like everybody else, so she'd just look around and be like, "Are you okay?
No.
What happened?"
Yeah, you mean you look at Rusty and Azalea, they look kind of like slightly shell-shocked or stunned. Riptide looks like she's been crying.
Oh.
Like her eyes are like bloodshot. She looks really visually displeased. Like she's gone through a hail of emotions. I don't know, what does she perceive with Lou and Kudo?
I can.
Got emotional backbreaker.
Oh.
Hey, I'm here too, James.
Oh yeah, I mean obviously, but you can describe for yourself, like you know.
Well, I know.
Let me just open the game. Literally just turn my computer on.
If you see in general, I don't know if would Lafi have seen the emotion flashback things.
No.
No.
She
I
has seen
also
that
deleted
in-
that thing in general.
Okay, because the
the small
A
novel
small,
19?
insignificant, crazy amount of notes.
with a 19. Yeah, I mean, so is that a perception? Sorry.
Yeah.
So you would see with a 19. I'll tell you about the characters that I am steering.
Yeah.
The dragon you would remember as Procyon is a aged significantly. Look, the glow that was within him has been significantly diminished, and he looks wizened and centuries old, but is still the size of about a horse. Overwhelmingly joyful to see you. I don't want to say wagging tail, but whatever the dragon equivalent of a wagging tail is. Rusty is beaming, like with a slight like shell shock. For him, it doesn't look like any time has passed. Like he's just like a little bit confused as to what's happened, but he's really happy to see you. Azalea is like picking herself up, like and leaning on Riptide. I say Riptide looks like she's like her hands are covered in mud and grass, like as she's not her usual like together self. I'll let you guys describe what she sees for you guys.
Cool.
I'm waiting. I was gonna not go first. I was just letting other people go first.
Well, I thought you were going first since you are since Wolf is a girlfriend, but well. For Kudo, you see basically not really much emotion in his face.
Yeah.
But his body posture tells you that basically the weight of just a whole lot of pressure. Similar if you look at a student who's about holding his final presentation or something similar, but like times 10.
Yeah.
Lou looks a weird combination of hopeful, paranoid, dreadful, and basically after someone saw like the first 20 minutes of Up.
Yep, fair, valid.
It's the first 20 minutes, not
Completely
the That's
understand.
so depressing.
Yeah.
And she is just going to hand Wolf a note. A small folded paper.
I think for Wolf, as soon as she sees Lafi sort of step out of the pool, like rise up almost from out of the pool, she was like sitting, kneeling, or like cross-legged, looking into the pool. And as soon as Lafi's coming out, she just like stands up and like wipes maybe a tear or something from her face. And you can tell she was nervous. And like apprehension, nervousness, confusion. But then as soon as she sees Lafi, you just see like a smile sort of fall on her face. And she just like stands up and looks at her.
She'd look around at everybody and kind of like take in what's happened and like understand straight away that you guys have been through something. So she'd probably just be like, what happened?
Staff was so ugly, it gave us PTSD. I'll do. Like, almost runs away. She looks ready to bolt.
Oh no.
The staff, I just like points to it on the ground. We saw memories and feelings that have a lot of emotion behind them.
I see.
Are you alright?
She like doesn't answer straight away. She just kind of like looks away and kind of like nods very slightly, and she's like, I think so.
Well, dress is clean.
She didn't realize that she was her dress has changed, so at this point she's like looking at herself like, oh. Huh.
Also, you're not wet.
Yeah.
I mean,
she'd like feel the dress and be like,
I don't know how. I don't know how like
James's joke,
how deep you are in the pool, but
Yeah.
when you stood up, it's to your ankles. But the dress, when you reach out of it, there's no, there's no goth sog at the end of your.
She'd like look at the staff now and kind of like, like you say, recognize it, but not understand where from, and then just like pick it up.
Yeah, you pick it up. It feels, when you pick it up, it feels warm and light and like an extension of your arm. It feels like something you were very familiar with before, and something you are glad. A similar feeling and vibe to how it was when you first touched Kudo's sword and it kind of reacted to you, except this isn't like it isn't quite the same. That was something very similar to you that you were touching. This is something of yours.
I think she'd just be like smiling, like have like this warm feeling in her chest, like something was missing and now it's not.
Oh, James, do ask, that feeling that Rusty and I had, is that gone now?
Gone now, yeah.
Okay.
And so is the glow, like the visual of the glow is there. But presumably it's replaced by an internal glow.
Yeah. So I think the only thing that I would want to say is that sort of if Lafi's like sort of ankles sort of in the pool still, she'd wolf like hold out a hand to help her out.
Yeah, she'd take it and like pull herself out of the water, completely dry for some reason.
Just like Wolf would just pull her in for a slight hug and just like kiss her cheek. And just like take that slight moment to be like she's all right. Before like moving away and looking at everyone else.
As you step away, there's a long, drawn out, satisfied, not painful, but satisfied sigh that comes from Procyon. My work, my mission is done. I am returned, and he spreads his wings into the sunlight. And as he does so, as the sunlight hits his wings, they just slowly start to disintegrate's a very aggressive word, but I can't think of a better one. Just slowly start to like dust
fade
away.
Yeah.
But not fade. You can see where they're going. These small like motes and particles of like starlight that his wings are turning into, and he raises his head up to it to the sunlight that's like beaming through, and his face is just slowly starts to like mote away like in small waves as if someone's blown glitter into the wind. And he takes this big like sigh that echoes around the glade as he slowly over a period of say like 5 to 10 seconds, just is just gone as this gust of wind takes these particles and waves them off up and out and through the trees and up to the sky. But from where he was on the ground is an egg.
Oh.
How big is the egg?
It is
Like a chicken
about
egg.
the size. No, it's bigger than that. It's about the size of a rugby ball, or for our American listeners, a football.
Jesus Christ, James.
Can I go over and take a look at it, see how, like, if it's a dragon egg?
If I wasn't clear, it is
Yeah.
a dragon egg. Yeah.
Cool, just
Sorry.
checking.
So, I mean, like,
I
you
thought
guys...
dragon eggs were like the size of people.
No, that's only because
So-
of that other guy. This one is conveniently sized to be able to be picked up and moved.
Does it
If
need...
you- if
Okay,
you
this
so
is my
wish to
next
do that-
question. Would I know that it needs to stay here, or would I know that I can like take it?
You wouldn't know either way.
Okay, see, that's the problem.
Imagine how much we can sell the egg for.
No, Lou.
Imagine the omelette you could make.
God.
Imagine the sandwiches.
Sally, why would you suggest that?
I think she'd kind of like just crouch and like look at the egg and then like look at everybody else and be like, "What do?"
We could try to putting in the water, because he's like connected to the
I
sisters, right?
Wouldn't want to risk the egg melting.
Well, I don't want to be traveling with a dragon egg.
Why don't we? We found the staff sort of in a glade over there. There was a. Did the beam of light go when I took the staff?
You didn't look at the time, but you could very easily see.
Can I just
if
like
you would-
look on something, like stand on
Yeah.
something and look and see?
You Scooby-Doo around the pile of rocks, and the beam of light that definitely wasn't coming from the sun is not there.
I'm not sure we could. It feels best to leave it here, but we could take it.
I'm just wondering if it's for the next.
That's what I was thinking.
She kind of looks a little bit awkward, maybe like shuffles on her feet when she says that, as she realizes like what, like she found out when she was in there, that like without a shadow of a doubt she is one of these sisters, and so then comes the existential crisis of what's going to happen, kind of thing. So she's like very awkward when she says the word next, and it'd be very visible.
Wolf would just grab Lafi's hand to like try and calm her a little bit. What do you think is best?
I think it's supposed to be here with the pools.
Well, then I think it's best to leave it here.
Mhm.
You should at least put it in a tree so that it's not.
Is it in a
it's
nest,
more for predators?
or is
It's
it
not.
just like?
It's. I don't want to say loose on the floor. It's like positioned. Like it's kind of like stood up and perfectly held by the grass. It wouldn't be blown over in the breeze. Where it is, it's like the sun can reach it and stuff.
Yeah, I think she'd probably just want to leave it exactly where it is, not interfere with, nature.
I think it's best to leave it here as well.
Yeah. I think would it be possible for it's in you said it's in like a tiny divot in the ground. Is it grass around it?
Yeah.
Could I use druidcraft to like grow some like grass around, like flowers around it to like cocoon it kind of, but not restrict it, if that makes sense?
Yeah, sure.
Just to
problem.
like give it a little bit of extra protection.
Yeah, you can do that. No problem.
So yeah, she'd do that, and then she'd just like touch the floor, and like this like slight glow again would just come from her hand as you watch these like flowers sprout around this egg, just like sort of giving it shelter.
I will say for the pools, the blorping, the bubbling spring effect has basically stopped. This looks very much like normal water at the moment.
Okay.
Make of that what you will.
I feel like whatever happened was the pool's energy. Like the end of it. That one specifically.
Mhm. Have both of them stopped bubbling?
Yep.
I would like to leave as soon as possible.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you. And do bolts out of there.
Why?
She runs
Okay.
for the woods.
I think Laffy would like walk over to Rusty and sort of like take his little hand and just be like, "You okay?"
Yes, I am. You got a nice new dress on.
Thank you.
It's like the
She, like,
old one.
does a
that you
little
ripped
spin.
The cow. Yes, it's very nice. But was it in the pond?
Don't know. I didn't change. I
What
think
happened to the other clothes?
I will say this: when he like goes to hold your hand, Wolf, what's your passive perception?
16.
You see, he's doing something really weird with his hand on Laffy's hand.
What's he doing?
Well, it's like holding it and like grabbing it by the fingers, and then like grabbing it by the thumb, and like presumably Laffy is like mirroring the movements.
Okay.
This is
I
a
know what
really
you mean.
unusual thing. That
I'm
I
not
probably
sure what you're describing, but
I will summarize this. It looks very much like a secret handshake.
Oh.
oh,
The one that you taught him to do.
Yeah. Oh.
okay.
Yeah.
That's fun actually.
Yeah. So she's just doing it back, and then she just gives him a little smile.
I was so confused, James.
There's a film, like a Disney film, where like two girls do it, and they do like what's it called? It, like the hand slap thing, and turn around and spin and like bump hips.
Yeah.
It isn't that elaborate, but it's.
I was gonna say,
it's
I feel like
fairly
everyone will
convoluted.
notice that. I know what that is.
But yeah, he's doing this elaborate little handshake, and he seems at the end of it, he seems like he was happy to see you anyway, but now he seems a lot happier.
No, it's me.
Kind of like buries his face into your like side, gives you a big squeeze, and like on the picture you shared, Laffy's hair was up as well. Has there been a change to the hair as well?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. He holds it. He like gives you a big squeeze. He's like, "You look like a princess." As you leave the grove and head back to the woods. Sorry, the road. It's fantasy mid-afternoon. As yet undefined time because none of you fuckers have a watch.
Hey, James, I did say it was about midday when we left the city, so you can probably
Yeah,
figure
it's
it out from
fantasy
that.
mid-afternoon. It's like a certain amount of time has passed. There's still time left in the day to do what I want to do, so it's fine. You leave the woods. The animals are chirping. The sense of like mystery and potential has left. It's like something has been, I won't say drained, but like or consumed. I will say used and or relocated. It'd probably be a better word. And the smell of sulfur has kind of dissipated somewhat. But after 15-20 minutes of clambering through the woods, you find yourself back on the plain, which is the plain as in the grassy plain that you were on, with
Not
the
an
road on
aeroplane.
it, with the people kind of walking back and forth on it. Some raised eyebrows as you come from the woods. As I say, this is like not a lot of people go into the woods. They don't think it's safe, but you exit the woods. And you can see there's plenty of like people marching back and forth. There's still time to make tracks towards Greencrest as round the forest. Let's say you cut a bit of time off. You don't exit the forest from the same place you came in from. You cut a little bit of time off, and in front of you the path leads down into these rolling fields of lush flowers.
Just like what flower as far as the eye can see.
Not as far as I can see, but like it's and they're not all of one. It's not all one particular. It's like a field of wildflowers, and like at the edge of it is like you see the start of like farms. We mentioned before. This is like a lush place for corn and carrots and potatoes and sprouts and broccolis, and that is the extent of my knowledge of vegetables. So
Any
that is
cabbages?
cabbages.
Oh no!
Yeah, there are some cabbages there. Yeah, sure. But yeah, so it's kind of like about 2 miles away, and just kind of like beyond these first set of fields, you see this large, for lack of a better word, it looks like a permanent campsite.
So sort of going into this sort of field area, I think Wolf would just pick up like I can't think of like a blue flower off the top of my head.
Forget me not.
Yeah, picks
oh,
up.
my favorite.
She picks up a forget me not and like sort of goes
Well,
over.
in this world, it's called a remember me never.
Jesus, James.
That's the opposite of a forget me not.
Yeah.
She takes a undisclosed blue flower and sort of walks over to Lafi and like puts it in her hair.
Oh my god.
And just kisses her on the cheek again. Says,
Lafi melts.
just says, "You're all right, right?"
Yeah. Just a lot of information. So it turns out I am a sister.
So just to intercede, is this a out loud conversation or an in your head conversation?
Wolf would have started out loud.
Yeah.
Okay.
So everyone can hear. And she kind of like say it to the group. So like like awkwardly turning around, look at everyone like I am that thing that everyone thinks I am. Not sure how to feel about it. It's cool. Terrifying. But yeah.
I don't think less of you because you are a sister. Just keep that in mind.
Well, I kinda was thinking so before, since, the sword and everything.
Wolf and Kudo are just like nodding, like, "Yep, we didn't think that."
It checks out.
So what does it mean then? What are you still gonna hang around with us the right life?
Yeah. I think I was brought here for a reason. And I thought it was to do with that big plant. But I think it's bigger than that. From what... Well, I'm not 100% sure. But from what she like hesitates before she says the word.
Like puts a hand on her shoulder as she's like hesitating.
From what my sisters were saying, it's something's come back. Something big. And I think that big plant was running away from it.
Of course it was.
I don't know where we need to go or how we figure it out, but I just know that it's something to do with... It's something that I have to do.
And I think Will be by your side whenever that happens.
I know. I want to keep everybody safe.
We'll keep you safe, Lafi.
Do you have to remember to keep yourself safe as well?
Yeah, we'll do that, Wolf. Don't worry. I'll keep you safe.
She just gives him a little head scratch.
Lafi,
Mm-hmm.
what do you remember? Like, what do you know?
I've been here before. I don't know when, but I remember I had a group like you guys. and I'm still trying to piece it together. But I think it was a long time ago.
Can I make a, I assume, investigation or maybe perception check to see how old Lafi would be?
Yeah, you can make
Definitely
I
investigation.
know
got
it's
Well,
I-
so yeah, there was a conversation with
This
Cal.
Cal is like 200 and something. Off.
Yeah, so he said that she would be. It's difficult with elves because different types of elves live for different periods of time. So a high elf lives super long. A wood elf would live for quite a long time, and then you've got half elves who, you know, it's like finger in the air kind of thing. He kind of, I guess,
I feel
assuming she
personally
was,
attacked.
well, you know what I mean. It's like
Yeah,
you know,
it depends on the.
it depends on the parentage.
Yeah.
But this, when he looked at Lafi, his like the assumption was if she was a high elf, she would be around, you know, between 200 and 300 years old. She looks about 25 in human terms.
Mm-hmm.
would I know in character that elves can live up to 900 years?
Make an intelligence check, but it will be a low. I'm gonna say as long as you don't roll like a fucking below 4. Yes. Oh my, 8.
Because I
So yeah,
was
you know that elves can live like 1,000 years easy. Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
But what I will say about this world is, a lot of the elves were killed in the war with the Liches, like the really old ones. So there's like only a handful of elves who are probably older than about 200 to 300 years old. Like off the top of your head, the only ones you can think of, you met Swan. She was probably about 300 years old. No, probably a bit older. Yeah, about 300, 400 years old tops. But she, looked a little bit older. There's the guy that you're going to go meet who was apparently really old, but they're like the only ones you can think of off the top of your heads. Maybe your guy as well, but I think even he would probably be less than 200 years old.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that checks out. Lafi,
Mhm.
on the way to your staff, your new staff, we went through a few flashbacks, so to say.
Mhm.
When you say
Did
that,
you
you
s-
see Riptide like tense up a little bit.
Yeah. Did you see those as well?
You mean your flashbacks?
Well, not mine specifically, but you know, I yes.
I didn't see anything with you guys, but I had a few of my own.
Look kind of like dots, but her entire body language is like extremely relieved.
Mhm.
Yeah, you see a noticeable relief from Riptide, who turns to Azalea and goes, "What about you, Ezzy? Did you see anything?" And Azalea says, "No."
The clearing of the throat was the best part of that.
So Riptide looks visibly relieved at that, and Rusty's like, "What flashback?
What's a flashback?
What's a flashback? Yeah, that when you light a fart."
Oh, Jesus.
He is like trying to keep up with the conversation, but is like struggling a little bit with the philosophical implications of, you know, this. And the field of wildflowers he's in is quite a good size. It's like who's the tallest in the group? It'll be, I'm assuming, between Riptide
Hugo.
and Fun?
Hugo, obviously.
I think
Hugo?
of the players, I think it's Wolf.
Yeah. This
she's
would
like
be
5'8".
like, yeah, this would be like lower tit height, for lack of a better phrase. This, I would say that the flowers at that height get to like 5 foot tall.
Oh, wow,
So like
okay.
it's it's
we
real.
can't see Kudo.
Well, no, because there's a path going through the middle
Oh,
of it.
okay.
Yeah, and so some of them are lower, some of them are higher. It's like it's really dense, beautiful, full of insects, like cicada buzzing, not like irritating, but like the beautiful kind of floral smell. This is like the opposite of the last time you were walking through a field of flowers.
Yeah.
This is like
It's the nice one.
there's no There's no organization. This is like degeneracy embraced, and the wildness of nature is encapsulated in like a postcard.
Wolf would have gone through this before, right?
Yeah. It might be like a little. Probably
been
this is the only time you've
while,
walked through it
but-
like it with a romantic eye.
Yeah. Of course.
But
I was
as
just like, she has done this journey before.
yeah,
so
you've walked this way before. This is not new. It's probably looking slightly more golden than it has done before. I will say. Generally, I think Wolf would not be walking through it this time of day. She would be further along in her journey. So it's like the golden hour.
Yeah, it's like
So everything's like it's a lovely warm day. There's a slight breeze. That the perfume from the flowers is being picked up. Rusty is a little bit distracted and, dare I say, bored by this conversation. So he reaches up, tugs at Lou's arm and at Kudo, and then like Wolf and Lafi, like, guys, shall we play hide and seek in the flowers?
That sounds like a wonderful idea. Oh.
Laffy's gonna put her hands over her eyes and start counting. Like,
Rusty looks up at Lou and goes, "That's because you're going to be no good at it, Lou." Off. And so he like dashes off. So he jumps into the flowers. Is anyone going to be playing hide and seek with Rusty?
Yeah, Laffy's counting. If anybody else wants to hide.
Is anyone else hiding?
I'm just saying if anyone else can say anything.
I'm gonna say out loud. I'm gonna play as well.
Yeah.
Go into the field, and as soon as I'm basically in the flowers, I will just turn into a fork.
Oh my God. Wow, that's cheating.
That's cheating. Yeah. So Lou rolled a 15. Rusty is got disadvantage because he's wearing plate mail. Oh no, he isn't wearing plate mail. He's not.
Why is he not wearing plate mail?
He's taking it off. He's just walking his lathers, isn't he?
Oh, is it?
20. So Rusty is canonically stealthier than Lou today.
Someone dressed in all greys can't hide in a field of flowers. How surprising.
Exactly. Yeah. You won't need a bonus because you are just a fork.
Yeah. You
so
just
like
win.
you will just win.
Unless someone accidentally kicks you.
Azalea and a Riptide. I'm not going to roll for. Because they're not. Well, I can't be.
Let's just say they're like walking off ahead together.
Yeah, they're like they. Azalea is like chatting to. They're quite buddy. Those pair. They've always like because they spent more time together than anyone else because Azalea basically had to travel back from the Looping Vale with her, so they're quite buddy anyway. Wolf, are you hiding?
Yes, I think once everyone is like scattered a bit and Laffy's still counting, Wolf would just like to kiss the top of Laffy's head and just in her head just say, I'll be around.
That's not the game, Wolf.
I know. Shut the fuck up, DM. Wolf just says, don't know how hidden I'll be, but I'll be around.
Okay. So
she does like wander off and she will like make a stealth check, but she's not like trying to hide.
Go on then. Let's see this number.
13. Wow,
13. Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So Lafi, can you make, please, a couple of perception checks? Let's go for 3 perception checks.
3 perception.
Perception checks. Yeah.
1,
Wouldn't it be
2, 3.
Oh, holy shit! Okay, so the first one, you can't find Lou. I will say you can't find Lou anywhere. You do see
walking
Rusty.
behind Lafi the entire time.
Yeah, you do see Rusty, but then you struggle to find Wolf.
No, I think what happens is as you're struggling, because Wolf's like watching.
Yeah.
Wolf just like stands up a bit, and like she like waves slightly, and then just points to the direction Lou went.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say, so she's like walking through these flowers, like pushing these flowers out the way, looking for people, and maybe she sees like Rusty's tail, like moving in the flowers, and then she spots Wolf, and she just puts her finger to her lips and goes shh, and then like points to the other side of Rusty.
Yeah.
So they both move around Rusty at the same time, and then jump out like boo.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool.
So Rusty is having a whale of a time. It's his turn to be the searcher.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Kudo, you've won, and everyone is like slightly
we can't find
Kudo. Yeah, but like you've carried on walking. Now he's like 100 feet behind you. As a form.
I think what Wolf does is she just like it's like a radar. She like points in direction, starts doing telepathy, like Kudo.
Yeah, stop cheating, you bastard.
Bitch, fuck you.
Yeah. So it's Rusty's turn to search. So he encourages you all to do the best hiding job you can. So if you'd like to roll another stealth check, and describe to me how you are 21, what you are doing to hide. So
What
Lou,
is Rusty wearing? What is
Rusty's
his?
wearing like
Leathers.
it's not armor. It's very much.
Is he wearing a backpack?
Yeah, I think he'd be carrying a backpack. He's got his
no.
armor in it.
I
No,
will
exactly what's
try.
gonna happen.
I will try to hide myself as a fork in his backpack, or like in the
That's
bottle.
so cruel.
Yeah,
Yes.
this is a
This
dick
guy's an
move.
idiot. He's not
He's
smart.
disqualified.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're out for a round.
So, Wolf, are you gonna hide?
So the only thing I'd say is that sort of as everyone starts running off, Wolf just says to Lafi, because obviously she's been here before, she's like, I know a spot, and just like grabs her hand and starts running off to a direction.
Okay.
I imagine Laffy like giggling like crazy when she's running
Yeah.
through these flowers.
Yeah.
She's having a whale of a time.
Mhm.
What
So
Lou
can
does
you?
is she lays down on the ground and like casts disguise self on herself and makes her outfit like covered in flowers.
It's that
Like-
scene from fucking Hunger Games where the guy's painted his like face,
Yeah,
his face is
yeah.
on.
yeah.
The
And he's
stupidest
like
scene.
in the rock.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it actually makes sense for me because I have magic and not 5 hours to mess around with.
I feel like
some
using
mud.
magic to win hide and seek is so
cheating,
cheaty.
Yeah.
I mean, it's better than
You
thinking
can cast
it's
pass without trace.
That's
if
true.
you
No,
We
want.
could,
I'm not
Lafi
gonna.
could win if she wanted to.
This is just fun. I'm just
Yeah.
having fun.
So I think Wolf takes Lafi to like a spot where she knows the flowers are like bigger, or like a spot that's like slightly out of the way that like doesn't
It's like
get
a divot. There's like
like a divot
yeah.
where the flowers sort of come up more.
Mhm.
And then she just like crouches down and then just says, I think here. Just like points next to her.
Okay. She's
Okay.
like crouching like behind Wolf, like maybe like her hands on her shoulders, like peeking over her shoulders.
Okay.
Mhm.
So can you make
I
me
assume
a
you two are like
stealth
giggling
check?
the whole time.
Ooh!
Like,
Nat 20. Nat 20 on the old
Jesus
stealth.
Christ.
Yeah, you are in the fucking wind. 14. Okay, so what's his passive? I'm just looking.
Well, I
So-
would assume he's actively looking.
He is actively looking, but his passive is 11. So he's looking around for like tracks. So he's going to make 3 perception checks and see if he can find people. Oh, that's performance.
Can you roll like a random d20 and if
Why
it's
has he
below
got
5, he
disadvantage on
gets
perception?
hungry?
1 second.
Oh,
Oh, it's bloody sunlight.
Oh.
they have
forgot
sunlight
about that.
sensitivity.
I think he does. Let me just double check.
Do kobolds have sunlight sensitivity? That's
Yes,
crazy.
they do. I think I might be
Maybe
using
that's the
retro-
old kobolds.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, sunlight sensitivity. Yeah, I'm just going to ignore that because I hate that.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I hate it as a roll in D&D.
the only-
14. Oh, Laffy. He's after
Do I
you.
need to roll as
Well, is
well?
it in,
No,
is it in
so
order?
you're cheating, right?
Well,
He
isn't it in
cannot
order? So
find a
it's
fork in his
Lou
backpack.
with a 21, then it's me with a 27, then it's like in order of who he's looking for.
James,
Okay.
if you roll natural 20, Rusty gets hungry, reaches into his backpack, and takes a kudo.
Yeah, I mean, he does have a hero point, actually.
Jesus
He
Christ.
does have his own hero points. So, okay, that was for Lou. He can't find Lou. So Rusty is like dashing from like side of the road to side of the road. There are other people walking along the path, like that you guys are now quite a way away from. Azalea and Riptide are a little way ahead. They turn around to see what's going on. There's this moment of like slight laughter as they kind of see you playing, and there's like the normal foot traffic going on. But yeah, so Laffy and Wolf are hiding together in this divot. We will. Would you like me to fade to black there for a moment, or would you like to elaborate on what you're doing?
They probably are like having a nice moment, just the two
Yeah,
of them.
having a very
I
like
think
intimate moment. Let's
I think
call it.
I think just all I'll say is that if they hear Rusty getting close, Wolf like pushes Laffy down further. And it's
Huh?
like or just like puts like a finger like on her lips in front of Laffy, just like a shh, as like they hear Rusty go past.
I don't know why, but I imagine that with Wolf having like a nat 20 and Laffy only having a 14, she's like I said, she's holding onto
Giggling.
Wolf's shoulders, like giggling,
Mm.
and then she like maybe like loses her footing on the like the divot on the floor and like slips back, but because she's holding Wolf's shoulders, she just like pulls them both back, so they're just like lying on the floor in a heap, like giggling.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
laughing.
So with
Wolf's
a
silently
7?
laughing in Laffy's head. Laffy's laughing out loud.
Yeah, with a 7. Oh, that's such a weird thing to say. Like laughing in her head is
I
so
know.
creepy.
She
With a
actually is,
7,
and I was joking,
Rusty
but
has
yeah.
no idea where Wolf's gone at
Sounds
all.
like
Like,
Stockholm syndrome.
yeah. And so he's now going to
That's what
search
my
for
bosses
Laffy.
do.
Realistically, the only one he's likely to be able to find is Laffy.
Yeah, it's fine. Probably just Yeah, there we go.
Yeah,
Beats
yeah,
it,
yeah. She's
beats it,
giggling,
yeah.
you'd hear it, yeah.
Just finds
So
them
I
like
will say it
giggling
takes him a
close to each
little
other.
while. So
Yeah.
you pair have a few I will say like 3 to 5 uninterrupted minutes of giggling and rolling about in the grass. Before he like I will say he's not subtle. You're not going to get caught with the proverbial pants down. You are able to
Two of them are
see
just
him
making
coming.
out, hear him chugging along.
Yeah.
Clonk, clonk, clonk.
Yeah, but he's like sniffing like a bloodhound, like trying to.
I think what happens is the two of them are like kissing, and then like we hear Rusty and Laffy like pokes her head up, and Rust just sees the top of Laffy's hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, look, raises her head just as he turns around, like nose
Yeah.
to nose, like, and she's like, "Clever girl."
Oh, that's weird.
Jurassic Park.
Yeah, I know what it's
okay.
from, James. It's the way you
I
said
have
it.
I have this image of Rusty like walking over to them, and like Laffy's like on her back on the floor, and you know like when you pick a child up and like hold them above you like in the air, like I don't know what it's called.
Like a baby.
Like a baby, like she's just holding him and she's just like laughing, and they're all just like rolling around in the flowers. It's just this really sweet image in my head.
She's just like sitting, while the two are having a moment, she's like sitting in the flowers, like probably a few flowers and stuff in her hair, just like smiling and looking up.
So yeah, you have a lovely mid to late afternoon, fantasy mid to late afternoon, as you walk
Fantasy mid like afternoon.
walk
This is getting
through
worse.
the field of flowers. I don't want to say skipping. There is an element of skipping from Rusty. Azalea and Riptide waited for you a little bit so you can catch up. Yeah. Riptide her mood has calmed. Certainly. Anxious. And as she sees like Laffy looking a little bit more dishevelled than perhaps she's seen her before. Well, I won't say that. Maybe like slightly more dishevelled, but like a little bit more relaxed, like grass stains.
Imagine, yeah. I mean, like Laffy's got like bits of grass in her hair. She looks
Like, both Wolf and Laff
chaotic.
probably have loads of flowers in their hair.
Yeah.
Just from like, because that's what they were doing with them.
This is like this conflicted look on her face. And you approach this. You pass through the fields.
Can I just say, as sort of Wolf notices that look from Riptide, so Laffy, she's just going to say in Riptide's head, "It's nothing to be ashamed of. You are a wonderful person."
She doesn't respond to that. She like kind of clams up a little bit, and then we'll resume walking. But as you pass through the farmland, the harvests aren't quite ready yet. The corn, whatever, various
PTSD
vegetables
from
are.
James, corn doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, wheat.
Yeah.
The barley is not quite ready for harvest. I only pick that because it's visually like what I think of when I think of like farms is wheat. So there's a rapeseed on one side, so anyone with hay fever is fucking dying. There's barley on the other. You're passing through. And you're approaching. As the day starts to wind down, the light starts to fade. You approach this kind of. It looks to be quite a permanent installation of like tents. It's not gated, but there's clearly like an entrance. And there is it's like a gazebo with like torches and stuff that's being lit. A large barbecue kind of cooking area with like a pot, some grills that are being sparked up, and there's probably like 40 to 50 people like milling around in the general area. All sorts of people, kind of like pick a race, you see them there. And Wolf, you would know this is like a fairly common place for people to stop. It's on the edge of this quite a sharp drop. So visually, it's like a very pleasant place. It's got a great view of the landscape. It's like it's not the safest because it's like it has different people there every night, but it's not like a place that is known for its criminal activity because it's generally traders on the way back or the way there, so they have like reasonable security there, and people don't tend to mess with the traders because they have a very like finite view of dealing with like highwaymen, and like people just kind of like don't do it. But like it's not unusual for things to perhaps go missing if you're not looking after your tent. there are there are families there. It is a I don't know whether or not Wolf would have stopped there. You can do the journey like in a day if you really push yourself.
Wolf probably would have done that
Hmm.
on her like times normally, but I think obviously she knows a bit about this place, so she just says to everyone, "This is a relatively safe place to stay for the night. Just be wary of, just keep your pockets."
I think
things like that.
for the UK residents, imagine this is like a budget hotel in Blackpool.
Right.
Okay.
That's the vibe.
Is this Greencrest?
No, this
This
is
is like
an unnamed campsite.
common
Like,
Okay, cool.
stopping off
if it
point.
has a name, I haven't.
Yeah.
Like it might well have a name that's just been blitzed with time.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it would just be the campsite. I mean, you see people who are not staying in there who set up their own campsites away from it because they will ask you for money. Like they will charge you to stay in here. But like there are like the things like it's a huge group of people, so it's just not attacked. There are places to like wash and change, places to cook. You don't necessarily have to set a watch, things like that. It's just a convenient place for people to. And I say there's this. It's a very what's the word? Like scenic place, especially at night, because it looks over the entirety of the south of Algadane, over the Caustic Flats, which are like lush farmlands. But because it's a descending view. It's like breathtaking. You can see like the horizon from the distance over the ocean. Sometimes you see dragons, like dragons flying at night, like generally younger ones. But it's visually very, very pretty place.
Yes, I think is there like you said there's not like gates, but like entrances.
Yeah, so it's like the top tent. It's not super expensive. It's like 5 silver per and you were kind of expected to bring your own food, but you can use
Own food and
like
camps and stuff,
5
which we
silver.
have.
Silver? Fuck that. I'm
They
gonna.
will pay for the
I
party.
was gonna say
Mm.
Wolf would pay for the party.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nah,
No,
fuck off.
5 silver per
What?
patch. So that would cover the.
I'm gonna
that would
give her
cover
4
everyone.
gold.
So how much is it? It's how many?
5
there are?
silver for the patch.
I've given her 4 gold.
That's like 8 times more.
Didn't
Way
you
than
say?
too much.
Didn't you say 5 silver per person?
No, per patch. So like
How
per
many
like.
would we need?
I mean, how many others? Like, there's quite a few actually. isn't there? 7 of you. I would say
7.
2 patches.
So I'm giving her 2 gold.
What? You need to give her 1.
I need 1.
It's silver.
Yeah, but I give her 2 gold.
Okay.
I just I
can't understand you guys sometimes. You baffle me.
Sure. Yeah, she just gives a gold to the person.
No, I've given
What?
her 2 gold for the party. Shut up.
So you've got 4 patches.
No, I'm just giving her an extra gold for the service.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see. Fine. Sorry, I was really struggling for a moment there. So
We're
you
all-
give
It's
her
American
extra
I'm just
gold.
being nice.
That's fine. No, that's fine.
We'll go
You can do
crazy.
that. She's like, great, and she pockets the gold and gives you 2 like receipts for each.
Actually, I just say,
patch,
can we get I just like hand the person 5 silver. Can we get the?
a third patch. Yes, sure. We're gonna put you near the bluff, and basically it's a little bit further away to have 3 patches together. You would need to go a little bit further, kind of out of the hustle and bustle. So it'd be a little bit of a quieter area, kind of away from the road, very near this this. I'll use the word cliff, but it's not high enough to be a cliff. It's like a severe edge with like a 30-foot drop. That you could, but like if you walk like 20 yards to one side, you could like just walk round it, kind of thing. But she's giving you like a really nice place, like like the place where like the artists would want to be, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So she's giving you that, and she explains, where the lavatories are. Spoiler: I wouldn't use the lavatories, but
Awesome.
she shows you where you can like get clean water and do some cooking if you wanted to. And there's like a communal feel to it. There are there are people who are swapping stories, songs, like impromptu like songs breaking out every day,
Like a campfire and somebody playing Wonderwall.
kind of like a Butlins. Kind of like a Butlins. I mean, there are people, like, it's not all scenic. There are people who are arguing. That it's a normal place. It's
Is
not.
there a guy walking around in a dragon suit singing songs?
Well, there's a lot of like topless, fat humans walking
It's like a
around
caravan
yelling for
park.
their kids. It's a caravan
Yeah,
park.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. Is there like a mascot that's like walking around saying,
Oh, I
like
see what you
waving at
mean.
people?
Yeah. Well, no, he's like he's only operates in really inconvenient hours. So
Awesome, cool.
Beginning,
Imagine Rusty would be
6 a.m.
terrified of him.
Yeah.
You know, when a kid's scared of a mascot and they're like,
I want to go home.
But yeah, she tells you where to go. You weave your way through the campsites, and they are pretty higgledy-piggledy. They are not, like there are clear patches that are outlined by stones. A lot of people are like encroaching on other ones, and small but very like quite intense. Not on my backyard style arguments have broken out in some places. Your patch is kind of away from everywhere, though. You like she has to shoo away someone who was trying to use that spot for someone else. And you guys have she looks at you expectantly and goes, do you have tents?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. Well, good luck. Breakfast isn't included, and she just walks off.
We then spend the next 20 minutes each putting up tents.
yeah.
I make a very clear point of setting down pieces of paper, like warnings that say, like, if you enter without permission, you lose a foot and a hand for every second.
Oh my god.
There are a lot of kids about who are fascinated, and
May lose feet.
2 of them test that theory.
I cast Fireball.
I try to intimidate, I try to raise the knife and intimidate them.
Oh my
Jesus
God!
Christ!
I'm
I
not
will
going to
say as well,
attack them. I just want to scare them off.
This is a family.
But-
You might get thrown out.
Laffy's
say,
gonna confiscate Lou's knife.
Yeah, I was gonna say, as Lou was doing that, Wolf's gonna say in Lou's head, I would be careful. This is a place with people.
If I don't
children.
stop them, more will come.
We're
They called the bluff.
enjoying
I have to make an example out of them.
Lou.
Fine, but if anything is get half the knife. But if anything gets
Thank you.
stolen, I'm blaming you, and you're paying for it.
It's fine. But then
She
Wolf
goes
says
like-
Wolf says that's fine out loud, and in Lou's head she says, I would be careful. I'm being nice, but you're still on thin ice.
Lou gives Wolf a serious look, not necessarily disagreeing, but acknowledging what she said, and just goes into her tent.
And then she just says forward goes into tent. We're all trying to have a nice time before whatever we have to do next, so just
We're meeting your parents. What are you expecting to happen?
well, we have Greencrest first, and then I'm slightly nervous about meeting my parents. Again, but no, Bruno as well. It's not all sunshine and daisies.
I hope your results are better than mine. You saw what happened there.
Mm-hmm. Have a good night.
Yeah, sure.
What are you guys doing for food? It's very rough and ready here. There are
I
places
did
you can get
prepare-
you can buy it. Or...
I
you've
did
got your
prepare
sandwiches,
21
haven't you?
sandwiches, yeah.
That's true.
Yeah,
But all those high-end, expensive sandwiches that she spent 4 hours making last night or some shit.
Yeah, I think we'll all just sit around and eat the sandwiches that Lou made.
I made 21 and we're 7 people, so
Yeah.
3 days. I think that's reasonable for a
How
sandwich.
big are these sandwiches? I don't think a single sandwich can.
Well,
I
it's
mean,
ham and cheese sandwich
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so.
with a little bit of butter.
Okay.
With as you've walked, how obvious? I don't know if it's been covered. Would you have let Azalea and Rusty know they lost time?
It wasn't that long.
It wasn't, but I mean,
was like
would you
3
let them know
minutes.
that stuff happened between when they
Yeah.
were frozen? Yeah, okay,
Sure.
that's fine. So you make
No
that
reason not
aware, them aware. What information do you give them? And because also Lafi doesn't know what happened either.
Yeah, I think maybe while they're all sitting around eating sandwiches, I think maybe they'd just be talking about it. And the 4 of us, and me, Kudo, Lou, and Riptide, while we were getting the staff, it was like energy was coming from the staff was making us relive memories or memories with lots of emotion. I did send it earlier.
Okay, cool.
But it wasn't that long. It wasn't more than like 3 minutes, was it? 3 or 4 minutes.
Tops. I mean, there was the time because they were frozen whilst you and Lou had the conversation as well. So I'd say
that's true.
probably
So it's probably
closer
more
to
like
like
8,
20
10
minutes.
Okay, yeah.
Like tops 20 minutes.
Okay.
Like maybe not those. Minutes.
Yeah, we all won't get into it because I'm sure not everyone's comfortable talking about it. But we all had memories with certain emotions. Wasn't the nicest, but it wasn't too bad. At least it wasn't too bad for me. It's about everyone else.
You saying this out loud? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm saying this to everyone. Sort of sitting around the thing.
I don't know about that, Wolfie. I wouldn't like to relive it.
Well, of course. I'm just yeah, sorry.
You want to share them? Mine, I mean. I don't mind, but
Not if you're not comfortable, and I think you're the person to share it if you...
I personally wouldn't like to share, but if you think it's needed, you can share
I think it's fine.
if you want.
If you're not comfortable with it, I think it's fine.
Well, I hope you're all okay.
Yeah, I'm just happy you're okay.
She'd like look at Riptide and just give her like a soft sort of like awkward smile, like we can talk about it if you want to.
No, I don't think so. It's we just got a bit of an insight into what
everyone else was thinking.
Yeah, and or some things we saw, some things that I would have rather not shared. But no, it's fine. Don't worry about it. We're all good here. Some quite cool things we saw. I've remembered how I got my Saish, and she pulls out this pike because I remember it really well. Skidding it, and it's stayed with me all this time. And I don't know if you've ever seen it. And she kind of like hands it around the group. I don't know if anyone's like seen it, but it's a pike with this beautiful living coral head.
Ooh.
That like it's still clearly alive, and it's like like the head of it where the corals live is like perpetually wet, and like it's like generating its own water. And she passes it round the group, and as it kind of comes past Rusty, like he's really, really interested in it. It like holds on to it for a few minutes as she kind of relays the story. So that the most of the groups heard this, but she relays the story of like being underwater in the coral reef at night, hunting for this like legendary weapon. And the great dragon Algad flew past and hovered up beneath the moon, and the moonlight strobing for its wings highlighted this sword. This pike. She swam down, got it, and it's been with her ever since. And it's like it's like this moment that she like felt the most excited she'd ever felt as she found this, this really cool weapon. And she's relaying this story, and like really elaborating on it to kind of, she's really going into detail that you guys who saw the memory, you don't quite remember that amount of detail. Like when you saw her memory of it, she's really selling like the big fish story kind of thing, really making a meal out of it. Rusty is like he's like half listening and like examining the pike, and he goes, "I have a dream about this from when I woke up for the first time, but it was an axe." And she's just like, "No, yeah, that's great, Rusty." And she carries on with the story. She's telling about how when she got it, there was like hammerhead sharks and all this, and like man of war jellyfish and all this. And he's like running his hand along it, and as he does so, like it's not like he cuts himself, but like he runs his hand along the blade of it, like along the side of it, and the coral reacts to him touching it. And the blade morphs and changes, and like it kind of like cracks and grows. It's still very, very wet, but it changes from a pike the shape of it completely changes into this coral-headed grey axe, kind of just like at his
Whoa.
touch. And Riptide like jumps to her feet like, Rusty, what the fuck? You don't know what you done to my pipe, man? She like picks it up, like she's like this look of like anger on her face at first, and she snatches it off him. But as she looks up at it, it's still like the same weapon, but it's got it's this grey axe now. And it's like it's slightly heavy. You can see like she's just getting used to it. She goes, "What did you do there, mate?" And he just kind of like shrugs and goes, "It felt like how it did in my dream." And like he just like goes back to what he was doing before he's not bothered by it.
Wait, Rusty, what do you mean about your dream?
Well,
I think. Sorry, Ned. When Riptide got angry and like jumped up, I can picture like Lafi putting herself between them, sort of, and like not looking angry, but looking quite like don't do anything, kind of just standing looking at Riptide like careful.
Yeah, so as she like, that's a quite interesting thing actually. That's quite cool. So when you interpose herself, she doesn't push past you. I'm imagining it's like obviously it's quite like a maternal thing. It kind of diffuses her. I don't say she's angry at Rusty. That's not. She's like
more annoyance,
annoyed, frustrated, confused. What the hell's he just done? Like this kid has played with my Transformer and like turned Optimus Prime into Galvatron somehow. What the hell? But there's this there's this annoyance there, and that diffuses slightly. She's not like she's going to batter him.
No,
but she takes she kind of like
it's not just like flash of
yeah. So she walks around and like doesn't snatch it off him, like takes it off him. I'm just going to post it into general. But it's this. It's gone from this very elegant looking pike that always sort of looked a little bit unnatural for her because she was like stabbing at things and it wasn't super barbarian-y I'm not describing that very well, but now she's got it in her hands and it's a great axe. It looks barbaric. Ooh. And she's holding it and she looks really happy with it. Like she goes, well, Rusty, if I've got anything else you want to turn into something cool like this, do you reckon you can do it? And he's like, no, that's the only one. Well, that was the only one that I've seen in my dream. And then just like goes like back to like picking at whatever picking at his sandwich.
I feel like Lafi would sort of like, once it had like died down and, she realised that Riptide was okay and not gonna knock his head off, she'd sort of just like take his hand and like lead him a little bit away, not like out of, what's the word I'm looking for? Earshot. Mm-hmm. But just sort of so he was like, like a one-on-one. And she'd be like, did you say you remembered it from before you woke up?
It's like a dream. I don't really remember. It's just like a dream of this, and this is one of the things in my dream. And I thought it was like dreaming of weapons. Was like I didn't want to tell anyone, but like I didn't see them like being used. I just saw them.
Did you have any other dreams?
I don't really remember them. This is. I've only remembered it when I saw it. But he passed me the scythe.
Will you tell me if you remember anything else?
I definitely tell you about my dreams. That is a sentence you will learn to regret.
It's fine.
Well, I was eating this cake and then...
Yeah, Lafi could talk to...
One day I was Hughes.
Lafi would talk to Rusty about anything. She doesn't care. She just, But yeah, that was interesting to her.
Like,
so she's
baffled that like it's interesting because it's like he doesn't think his dreams mean anything. He doesn't really understand what he's done.
Yeah.
But if I have a dream about any more weapons, I'll tell you.
Okay.
Rusty's Martin Luther King Jr.
Rusty, just in future, if you have any dreams like that again, maybe just ask first.
Well, if he passed it around, I didn't know what had happened.
I know, and it's not, nobody's fault. You didn't do anything bad. It's just some people, I don't want people to get cross with you.
if you cross with me,
No,
Um,
no, no.
you look. She's like she's having a blast.
Yeah, she like points at her and she's like, no, she loves it. But just at first, she seemed a little bit confused. So just now we know that that's something that you can do. Maybe we'll talk about it before you do it. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know what I did to it though.
Well,
I just touched it.
we can figure it out.
Yeah.
It was really cool, though.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna go bed now if that's okay.
Yeah, you rest up. Did you finish the sandwich?
No,
Okay. Are you not hungry?
it's not very nice.
She just takes a cookie out and gives him a cookie.
He prefers his sandwiches with Nutella.
Mhm.
That's fair. So
That's a thing in D&D.
fancy.
Yeah, it is now.
Laffy's gonna have to find some hazelnuts and make some Nutella.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yes. Sorry, now I want Nutella.
But yeah, so that is what Rusty does. He takes himself to a tent. Riptide takes herself to a tent. Azalea takes herself to a tent. And what are the rest of you doing? As the NPCs disappear?
I don't know what Kudo and Lou are doing, but the only thing I'd say is if Lafi were to go back to the tent, there would be sort of a small note in Wolf's handwriting. It just says, if you leave the tent, just like give her instructions, like when she leaves the tent, look around and then just like find Wolf.
Okay. Yeah, she would. I guess it's like turn left, walk
Yeah,
5 paces,
yeah.
kind of thing. So yeah, she'd follow those instructions.
And sort of as she does, you just see Wolf sitting on like because it's not a cliff, it's like a steep hill.
Yeah.
Sort of just like sitting on the hill, like sort of like legs dangling over the side, just like looking out at the view.
She'd just sit down next to you. Probably look down and be like, whew.
It's only 30 feet. It's not a cliff.
Okay.
Is a very aggressive word for
Well, I don't know what to call it. A
sharp
steep hill.
drop.
Steep hill.
Yeah, steep hill.
Um,
But it's like it's the edge of it is what I'm trying. The so you can dangle your legs off the side of it.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
And so I think as Lafi sits down, Wolf would just like put her hand on top of Lafi's
Mhm.
and just sort of look at her and just like smile.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm good actually. How are you?
She just like grins and shrugs, like, you know.
A lot of information.
Mm.
I get it. When you were in the water, the pool, I'm not sure. It was, I was nervous.
Mhm.
But I'm endlessly glad you're all right. And those visions, those memories that we had, it just reminded me of how much that my brain thinks about you. And
Me?
yeah,
Oh.
one of the, as Riptide was describing, one of the things was excitement and joy, and immediately my mind just went to you.
She's like beaming. In more ways than one. She's got that like very slight little glow going on. She's like, oh.
So I think Wolf just like leans in slightly closer, like puts her arm around like on Laffy's like shoulder and pulls her in, and just says, "I've always been scared to say it, but I love you too."
She's like visibly excited. You know, the little like kicking her legs thing.
Yeah.
Her legs are like dangling over the cliff and she's just like
And whatever comes next, I'm happy that we can spend it together.
Me too.
And just leads in and kisses her. Yeah.
That's cute. Sorry, go on. What's
No,
everyone else doing?
That's all I have. Yeah, that's all I have. Thanks, Black.
Kudo and Lou, are you doing anything before you retire for sleep?
Lou is sitting in her bedroll, and she's like staring at the dagger she used to stab the tree with, and her other hand is absentmindedly like rubbing her nape where the mark is like thinking about should she reveal the entire her story to the rest of the party, or should she keep it a secret as long as possible, despite knowing what could happen if when they go back to the city?
How will she decide?
Oh, you flip. No, just kidding.
She does love
Lou
coins.
and Lou's player need to think more about that.
Okay.
Lou and
anything-
the person standing behind controlling Lou need to think about it.
Yeah,
Is Kudo doing anything before we end the night?
Yes, since I, during that day, also got the upgrade to the sword, I will, before going to bed, kind of think into the sword, just basically what I would do with Wolf's telepathics, just not really expecting any answer with the sword, and wish for or hope that the work together, let's put it that way, continues to be as good since the upgrade, and to get to the future that is better than all blood maze.
Yeah. So as you are kind of projecting these thoughts in, you get a questioning vibe. Okay. So this is okay, right. So you are on this hill, and the stars are out in force above you. The sky is full of diamonds, and the moon is large.
Oh my god.
It is not the biggest it's been. It's waning slightly now. We've had the peak of it, but the moon is bright, and the connection to the sword is at its height. You get the inquisitive feeling in your head, the inquisitive question of how far will you go to see that dream come to life?
Oh my god, James. Well, for that to answer, I would need a scenario to decide on. So that's
Okay. So there are limits to what you'll do, is what I'm hearing.
depends. I guess.
Okay.
Yes.
No, that's fine. It's not a wrong answer. That's fine. But we'll leave it there for tonight.